Story summary. Transmigrated into Uzumaki Naruto and successfully awakened the system marker. Every day when you wake up, you can register with the system and receive all kinds of ninjutsu and bloodline limits. This is truly a life of salted fish. One can obtain ninjutsu without cultivating.
Ding.
Please host now make your choice of side. Faction 1. Become a loyal dog-licking Konoha, inherit the will of fire, can obtain the Super Holy Mother Halo. Super Holy Mother Halo effect. Mouth puff ability plus 100 can obtain super strong mouth puff ability, used to influence enemies. Faction 2. Become the traitorous ninja of Konoha, blacken and betray. Get justice for the unfair treatment of Uzumaki Naruto. Congratulations, host. You have successfully mastered the Flying Thunder God technique. You have successfully mastered the 8 Gates Stuinjia cultivation method. Sarutobi Hiruzen. Naruto, do you not agree with the idea of the will of fire? Why do you want to become a traitor to Konoha? Naruto. Haha, the will of fire, how funny. I'll keep your brainwashing tricks and let someone else use them. Kakashi. Naruto, you are indeed an outstanding genius. Your talent is even above teacher Namikaze Minato.
Hüge Hinata, Naruto-kun, I, Konoha.
Ninja school after Yamanaka. Retired. The body wearing orange sportswear teenager. Stepping on the tree trunks in the forest galloping. The young man had short blonde hair and a pair of goggles on his forehead. What attracts the most attention is the huge scroll he carries on his back. The envelope scroll above suddenly had 4 large characters. Book of Sealing. Naruto. You idiot fox demon can't escape. Quickly hand over the Book of Sealing. Mizuki let out a wild and crazy laugh. His voice reverberated in the back mountain, transmitting for a very long distance. Mizuki observed the footprints on the tree branch, accelerated towards the front, and quickly chased after. Today is ninja school graduation time. And also today, Mizuki successfully lured Naruto to help him steal the sealed book. As long as I can get the sealing book and escape to Konoha, Mizuki was able to take the Book of Sealing as a gift and give it to Orochimaru, gaining Orochimaru's favor. Mizuki's average talent was not valued at all in Konoha. After many years of mixed ninja life, he only became a ninja teacher. This is not the life Mizuki wants at all. He wants to gain power, gain more recognition, and gain adoring eyes. After the first time coming into contact with the medicine left by Orochimaru, Mizuki already knew that Orochimaru was the one who could give him power. Who? No, I can't stop. Naruto was panting heavily, but still did not dare to stop, galloping forward at full speed. Mister. Suddenly, a fierce ray of light struck. Naruto only felt a sharp pain in his eyes. Then he was trampled under his feet and fell to the ground with a thud. Damn it, I'm a transmigrative? I'm a Naruto. Tran Pham raised his head, looking around in confusion. His body had turned into Naruto? Last night was just a reward for myself. Then I inexplicably fell into a coma, woke up again, and ended up in the Naruto world. At the same time, Naruto's 12 years of life memories, like a movie, appeared in his mind scene by scene, rapidly merging with Tran Pham's memories. The villagers hated. Peers shunned. School teacher sarcasm and provocation. Also, Mizuki just told the truth about the fox demon's body. Naruto's life is so miserable. These guys are really hateful enough. Perhaps it was those few pictures that moved people. At this moment Tran Pham also felt unusually angry in his heart. However, in the ninja world, in this seemingly peaceful Konoha, just a word of anger is useless. To gain respect and recognition from others, one must have sufficient strength. That's right, the Book of Seals, I must learn the ninjutsu above. Thinking of this, Tran Pham crawled up and hid in the dense forest beside him. Untie the binding rope on the outer cover of the sealed book and spread out the square scroll on the ground. Tran Pham widened his eyes, carefully examining the content above. Multiple shadow clone technique, impure earth reincarnation, flying thunder god technique, 8 gates release, Rasengan, corpse demon consuming wind. I'm going, awesome. Tran Pham also did not know what words to use to describe his feelings at this moment. He could only use the 2 words, awesome, to replace it. The Book of Seals records all of the powerful ninjutsu known within the ninja world. As long as one can learn 1 or 2 of them, one can possess extraordinary combat power in this ninja world. Let me take a look. The multi-layered shadow clone technique seal formation, ugly, dog, god, death, dog, pig, snake. This is too complicated. The seal on the scroll book above the multi-layered shadow clone formed hand seals, causing Tran Pham to frown when he saw it. In fact, the scroll book above the 8 gates Duanjia, as well as the Flying Thunder God technique, had even greater appeal to Chen Fan. But Tran Pham roughly glanced at it. The complexity of learning these two techniques was many times more complicated than learning multiple shadow clones. What suits you best is best. Naruto's body has a huge amount of chakra, and multiple shadow clones are the ones that can currently unleash his greatest ninjutsu power. Tran Pham silently muttered a sentence. Both eyes stared at the sealed scroll book, the multiple shadow clone seal formation technique, and all kinds of carefully considered items. Over and over again, in his heart, he kept reciting. Retired. Retired. A figure stepped on the tree trunk, continuously appearing from afar. His eyes stared intently at the footprints on the tree branch. Only after discovering that there were no traces ahead did his body suddenly stop. Naruto! I knew you were hiding here. Come out quickly, you damned demon fox. Quickly hand over the sealing book to me. Mizuki's face was full of ferocity, and he let out a hysterical scream. Such a long time without being able to obtain the sealing book made Mizuki a little crazy. Relying on Mizuki, this bastard came at the wrong time. Tran Pham hid behind the dense forest, cursing softly. The method of multiple shadow clone techniques hand seal. I just barely remembered it. Maybe at this moment Mizuki followed the trail step by step and got closer. The Flying Thunder God technique's usage method, as well as the 8 gates release technique's cultivation method, there was basically no time for Naruto to take notes. System? Is system here? Tran Pham shouted in his heart. As a transmigrator, Tran Pham had read quite a few novels in his previous life, so he was very clear in his heart that mastering the system was the lowest standard for a transmigrator. As soon as Tran Pham finished speaking, a lowly voice reminded him in his head. Right now, sir, the marking system is locking inside. Congratulations, host. The system marking is successfully locked. You can now start marking. Reminder, system marking can be marked once a day. Host can get random rewards. 1 small entry per week. 1 large entry per month. Reminder, weekly entries and previous month entries will get more abundant item rewards. The marked reward items are all Ninja World items, including ninja tools, ninjutsu, physical technique, bloodline limit, etc. The system's lowly reminder voice continuously rang in his mind, making Tran Pham extremely excited. Ah! Indeed, the novel did not deceive me. System marking. Waiting without having to do anything. Every day, as soon as you open your eyes, you can get system rewards. This really shouldn't be too comfortable, right? System. Start marking immediately. Tran Pham ordered in his heart. Marked successfully. You're about to give the reward. Please wait a moment. Congratulations, host. You have obtained the marked reward 1, Ninja Explosion Talisman times 3, reward 2, Hexagonal Shuriken times 3, reward 3, Fuma Shuriken times 3. This. System, your reward is too arbitrary. Tran Pham was very upset inside. The explosive talisman could be used for anything. With money you could buy it outside. Naruto. I see you. Hurry up and get out of here. Obediently give me the sealing book. I will let you go. Mizuki's voice rang out once again. He held a kunai in his hand, constantly glancing around to check the traces. Slowly approaching the forest, where Naruto was. You are not afraid of sand. I do not want to pay attention to you right now. Tran Pham looked at Mizuki through the gap in the forest with such a stupid gaze. Multi-layered shadow clone is currently in control. If not for the urgent need to seek out more benefits from the system, Tran Pham really wanted to immediately rush out and knock Mizuki into the wall. At the same time, Tran Pham also accepted his identity as Uzumaki Naruto in his heart. When in Rome, do as the Romans do. If you come, you will come. If you run, you cannot escape. System, are there any other rewards? Like newbie gift packages or something? Naruto was very unwilling and once again raised his doubts to the system. Host reward newbie gift package. 100 square meter system, reserve space. Host, please make your choice of faction now. Faction 1. Become the center of Konoha, licking dog. Inherit the will of fire. Can obtain Super Holy Mother Halo. Super Holy Mother Halo effect. Magical speaking ability plus 100% can obtain super powerful magical speaking ability. Use love to influence enemies. Faction 2. Become a traitor to the Leaf Village. Uzumaki Naruto meets unfair treatment to get justice. Can get 2 seconds of superpower reading to overcome ability. Reminder. 2 seconds of super strong memory ability. Can freely choose 2 types of ninjutsu on the sealed scroll book, imprinted in the host's brain. Damn it. Does this still need to be chosen? Only an idiot would want to be the center of Konoha to lick dogs. I choose Camp 2. Naruto shouted in his heart, without any hesitation choosing side 2. As long as one can immediately imprint the Flying Thunder God technique and the 8 Gates Doonjia into one's brain, then wouldn't these 2 powerful techniques be within reach? Host has chosen Camp 2, becoming a traitor ninja of the Leaf Village. Reminder, because the host's current strength is limited, the betrayal escape time limit is set at 1 year at the latest. Otherwise, the system will automatically explode. I'm going. What the hell? Automatic detonation? Naruto's expression was silent, but a year's time limit was completely enough. With Hiration in Naruto's hands, he could leave whenever he wanted without any difficulty. Host, this super powerful reading to recovery ability is right here for you to open. Please pay attention to check and receive. As the system finished speaking, Naruto also felt his eyes heat up, his eyes instantly turning into 24K golden dog eyes, emitting 2 beams of dazzling, intense light. Rustle. 2 seconds, Naruto twisted his head, using his eyes to emit strong light, engraving all the contents of Hiration and 8 Gates release technique, storing them deep in his mind. Awesome carrot. Noticing the information contained in those 2 techniques, Naruto's heart was filled with excitement. Huh. Mizuki heard the movement in the bushes. The corner of his mouth revealed a trace of a cruel and ruthless smile. Naruto. I found you. You big fool, Mizuki. What can you do to me now that you discovered it? Naruto's voice came from the bushes. Baka, you damned fox demon. Mizuki became even more furious. His right hand trembled slightly, and a few kunai slid out from his sleeve. Collection. He used the gap to clamp the kunai and forcefully threw it up. The kunai carried the sound of tearing wind and flew towards the bushes. Crackle. The sharp blade cut off many of the branches of the forest, and the kunai also stabbed deeply into the bushes. Huh? Why is there no movement? Mizuki's face was full of doubt. The position he had just aimed at was very precise. He could almost confirm that Naruto was hiding in this position. Is it dead? Mizuki muttered a sentence, then took a step towards the direction of the forest. Stupid Mizuki. I won't die that easily. Multiple shadow clone technique. Just as Mizuki was about to reach out and push the trees away, Naruto's voice came from inside, startling him. Immediately after, the forest shook loudly. One after another, Naruto jumped out from the bushes. In a moment, on the top of the giant tree, on the branches, on the ground, everywhere was Naruto's figure. In just a few breaths, 1,000 Naruto shadow clones surrounded Mizuki, squeezing him tightly. Why is it like this? Mizuki was immediately stunned. Her eyes filled with panic as she scanned her surroundings, not knowing what to do. Mizuki, didn't you just scream loudly calling me a stupid fox demon? Naruto's mouth corners carried a trace of provocative smile, also not in a hurry to deal with Mizuki. This kind of hateful guy must really humiliate him, torture him. Cut. Aren't you a fox demon? You're the monster that everyone in the village hates, Naruto. Mizuki gritted his teeth and angrily cursed loudly. His heart knew that he had no chance to escape at this moment, and he thought of a dead fish in a broken net. Mizuki quickly took off the especially large 4-cornered shuriken on his back, suddenly gathering strength in his hand, and tossed it up. The 4 corners of the shuriken rotated rapidly, emitting a buzzing sound as it flew towards the Naruto closest to him. Break. Approximately 3 or 4 Naruto shadow clones were hit by the 4 corners of the shuriken, exploding into white mist, dissipating into thin air. With so many tricks. It took so much effort to take down 4 shadow clones, ha 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 ha. Mizuki, you are too much, ha 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 ha. With this level of strength you still want to collect me. Are you dreaming? 900 shadow clones, from all directions, started to mock Mizuki. The whole group either had their stomachs bulging with laughter, or were shaking their butts at Mizuki. Not far away, on a 1,000-year-old tree, Two people who had been secretly monitoring the Umbu ninja also saw the scene. No way, this Naruto guy actually learned multiple shadow clone techniques? How could this be wrong? Look at the number of those shadow clones. I'm afraid they're not less than 1,000 people. Naruto actually used multiple shadow clones to this extent. His chakra level is too terrifying. The two Umbu ninjas glanced at each other, both seeing fear in each other's eyes. They could not believe it at all. Naruto, who had always had average aptitude in ninja school, actually had such natural talent and skill in ninjutsu. Disgusting. Naruto, you damn demon fox. Mizuki's eyes were full of hatred as he cursed loudly. Looking at the dense Naruto surrounding him, he felt helpless. The number is really too much. Do we have to use that thing now? Thinking of this, Mizuki reached into the pouch at the back of the ninja tool's waist and took out a transparent glass bottle. Take half a bottle of red medicinal liquid from the glass bottle. Mizuki gritted his teeth, pulled out the bottle cap, and poured all the red medicine into his mouth. Naruto, you forced me. Today I used Orochimaru's secret medicine. You will definitely die. Ha 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 ha. Mizuki casually threw the vase away, letting out a wild laugh. As soon as he finished speaking, Mizuki's body seemed to start to mutate. His upper body's skin started to move, as if something was trying to crawl out from inside. Ah! Strength. I clearly feel my strength increasing. Mizuki let out a mad laugh. He clenched his fists hard. His finger bones made a loud cracking sound. In a moment, Mizuki's body rapidly expanded, and his originally tall and large head once again grew much taller. The figure reached over 2 meters tall. The upper half of the body's clothes were torn off, exposed inside the skin, full of yellow and black intersecting hair, each piece of exposed muscle, looking 10 parts explosive force. His whole body looked like a human tiger. Naruto was slightly stunned. Isn't it the failed finished medicine that Orochimaru left behind for Mizuki? Luckily this guy thought it was something good, haha. Naruto shook his head in disdain, looking at Mizuki with eyes that looked like they were looking at a dead person. The moment Mizuki ate that bottle of red medicine, it meant he would die.
Go. Gordy, Naruto.
Mizuki let out a loud shout.
Boss sound.
His whole body transformed into an afterimage, shooting towards the nearby Naruto clones.
Break.
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 In the middle of the fight, Naruto's brother clones couldn't keep up with Mizuki's speed. The group of shadow clones were continuously hit by Mizuki, turning into groups. The white mist disappeared and nothing was seen. Mizuki is like a fierce tiger charging into a pack of wolves. At number 900 Naruto shadow clone. Between back and forth. No. What was that Mizuki just consumed? How could it be so powerful? Not sure, but at this rate, Naruto looks like he's in a bit of danger. I want you to not save Naruto. Wait a moment, continue to watch the situation. Two dark ninjas hid in the middle of the forest, looking down to see the movements below. The two of them were under the orders of the third Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen, wanting to monitor the secret. Naruto's secret. But at the same time, if something happened to Naruto, this nine-tailed Jinchuriki, they would also cannot live in peace. Ah! Naruto, aren't you very formidable? Come, fight me head-on. Mizuki threw her head back and let out a scream. After taking the medicine, this kind of gripping force. The feeling made him feel like he could punch a big elephant to death. In just a split second, 900 plus Naruto shadow clones had already been dealt with by Mizuki, over 200 people. Naruto silently glared at Mizuki and shouted, I originally wanted to see you perish. But your self-righteous attitude now makes my grandfather feel very uncomfortable. So, I decided I want to beat the shit out of you. Speaking, Naruto clenched his fists, gritted his teeth, and exerted force on all his senses. 8 gates Dunjia first door open beak. Through the ability recovery system, 8 gates Dunjia and flying thunder god technique. Naruto now remembered it in his heart. The only problem that could possibly arise is that because Naruto's physical training is not comprehensive enough, opening the 8 gates release will put a greater burden on his body. But compared to Rock Lee and Might Guy, Naruto has one special thing. Special advantage. Because he comes from the Uzumaki clan. Although it can be said that Naruto Uzumaki clan bloodline is not pure. But it is also very good to inherit the Uzumaki clan's bloodline, that powerful vitality, and have that huge chakra energy. With the powerful life force of the Uzumaki bloodline as support, Naruto The body is originally several times stronger than normal people. Therefore, for Naruto, there is nothing more suitable than 8 Gates Dunjia, a type of martial arts. 8 Gates Dunjia, second door, open. Third gate of life, open. The third gate of form appeared. Naruto's body was covered in a layer of deep energy. Green, constantly oozing out. The orange sportswear was blown to make the flowers bloom. The yellow hair was also blown to prepare to stand up. What? How is this possible? Naruto actually used 8 Gates release. Tiger Face Ninja took off his mask, revealing his face. Full of startled face, looking towards his teammates. The Bear Face Ninja mask throat heaved up and down, forcefully swallowing his saliva. I heard the third Hokage mention it before. 8 Gates Dunjia is a very good technique. Carving body technique. If you want to learn and use the 8 Gates Dunjia at the same time, your body must be comparable to. Ordinary people are several times stronger than above. But a person who wishes to cultivate his body to a 10th of a powerful level, also. Only through daily hard work and physical training. This Naruto guy really is. He just got the sealing book. What could it be? So quickly mastered the 8 Gates Dunjia. The tiger-faced ninja looked confused. You ask me, who the hell should I ask? Is Naruto really a genius? After seeing the 8 gates and multiple shadow clone techniques once, he learned them all in one go. 2 Umbu members were online eating melons at the same time. Mizuki was also active. Fighting with Naruto in. Together. Break, 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 break. The bodies of the 2 people were also nearing their limits, transforming into 2 afterimages. Constantly colliding and exchanging attacks. Mizuki's current strength is entirely due to the failed finished medicine Orochimaru left behind, which consumed his life force early to gain strength. Naruto, on the other hand, relied on the green steam that opened up the 8 gates release, giving himself speed and force increased to the limit. Break, 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 break. The 2 of them fought back and forth for several rounds, but neither of them was able to win.
Can do anything.
What would happen? Mizuki felt a wave of pain coming from his body. The pain made his 5 senses contort together. The excessive consumption of life force has begun to have an effect on the body. Disgusting? What the hell happened to this Naruto guy? How did he suddenly become so strong? Mizuki clenched his teeth, already decided in his heart. He must use the next strike. Full force. Take Naruto in one action. Mizuki, next I will deal with you with one blow. Naruto's mouth corners revealed a confident smile. After the recent experiment, Naruto discovered that his current body's limit can be endure, at most is to open to the third gate of life. The body positions transmitted discomfort. Meridians and muscles all have a slight feeling of tension and pain.
Sense.
But never intentionally went to strengthen the cultivation of physical arts, but was able to open it from the very beginning. Out of 3 subjects, it can be seen that Naruto relies on his bloodline power to make his body extremely powerful. What level? Humph. This is also what I want to tell you. With this next strike you will die. Mizuki let out a loud scream, suddenly exerted force under his feet. His body turned into an afterimage and shot towards Naruto. Naruto was not in a hurry. He reached into the pocket of the ninja tool behind his waist, took out 3 kunai, and clamped them in the gap in the middle. Collection. Collection. As Naruto waved his hand, the kunai carried a sound of tearing wind, flying towards Mizuki's face. Cut, dreaming, thinking of attacking me like this. Mizuki let out a light sigh of disdain. Her body slightly twisted to the side, immediately dodged the kunai attack.
Wow.
Flying Thunder God technique activated. Naruto's body disappeared from the spot. Next, a blink of an eye appeared at Mizuki's side. Naruto let out a loud shout, raising a powerful punch and striking towards Mizuki. Head.
Break.
Ah! Mizuki's face was twisted by a punch. Teeth flew out.
And he screamed.
Immediately, his body flew away like a cannonball. Crackle. 2 or 3 thigh-sized giant trees were pushed down by Mizuki's sturdy body. Naruto stomped his feet on the ground with all his might, his third life gate's speed reaching its limit.
Whoosh.
Chasing at Mizuki just fell to the ground. Naruto once again arrived in front of her. Riding on Mizuki's body, he swung his fists and continuously smashed towards Mizuki's face. Break, 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 break. Dense photo writes like raindrops falling down. In less than a moment, Mizuki's tiger face had turned into a pig face. He could only gasp for breath as Naruto fought, without the slightest bit of strength to resist. Hiding on one side were two Umbu ninjas, almost giving him a shock. The bare-faced ninja mask swallowed hard and stuttered. Machi, just now, what kind of ninjutsu did that Naruto guy use?
Did you see it?
The tiger-faced ninja's eyes widened as he said in a trembling voice, "It looks like it's Hiration, right?" The bare-faced ninja masked man nodded vigorously. Is there really someone who can pervert to this extent? After reading the Book of Seals once, he actually learned the 3 forbidden techniques above, moreover. Naruto won't be able to use those forbidden techniques again for a while. The two Umbu ninjas were both made to doubt their lives. When did forbidden technique become like cabbage? Saying that if you learn it, you can learn it right away? Retired. Retired. The shadows of people in the woods outside kept flickering, as if there were quite a few ninjas approaching this way. Leading the way was Irika Yumino, his face filled with worry, constantly glancing around searching. Behind Irika, there were also quite a few familiar-looking people following: Aoba Yamashiro, Ebisu, Kotetsu, Hagane waiting for a moment. Originally, Irika also had some doubts about Naruto's relationship with the Nine Tails. Until this morning, the third Hokage made a suggestion to Irika. Only now did Irika understand. It turned out that Naruto was also pitiful, like him. He was lonely since he was young. In order to attract other people's attention, he often did stupid things. Knowing that Naruto was lured by Mizuki to steal the Book of Seals, Irika felt even more anxious. That is, Naruto? Quick, they are over there. Suddenly, Irika's eyes suddenly lit up, increasing his speed and running towards Naruto's direction. Handle. Naruto stood up from Mizuki's body, rubbed his slightly aching fist, and cancelled the 8 gates release state. Although his muscles and meridians were currently transmitting every trace of pain, these small injuries were nothing to Naruto. Naruto, why did you do such a thing? Irika shouted loudly, quickly rushed forward, and wanted to teach Naruto a lesson to stop. But when he saw Mizuki, who had been beaten into a pig's head, and Mizuki, who had been so shocked that her skin was covered in wrinkles, he suddenly stopped, dumbfounded on the spot. Is this Mizuki? How could this be? Aoba Yamashiro looked at Mizuki's face that turned into a pig's head, his heart filled with fear. Aoba Yamashiro squatted down and probed Mizuki's breathing. Naruto. Mizuki was beaten like this by you, I just saw it. Naruto also had no intention of hiding anything, nodding his head. That's right, he was screaming and wanted to snatch the sealed book. I naturally couldn't let him do that, so I beat him up. What? Naruto just said this, almost made the remaining ninja present all roll their eyes. What do you mean? You are just a guy who can't even graduate from ninja school. How can you beat a chunin at Mizuki's level into this state? Really? Can't you just treat these chunin on the battlefield like big piles of sand and let them be beaten up at will? Irika frowned, still somewhat incredulous as he asked, Naruto, don't talk nonsense. Quickly tell me, why did Mizuki become like this, and also, where is the Book of Sealing now? Naruto was momentarily helpless. He spread his hands out, not wanting to explain further. Tell you the truth, you are not willing to believe. Then what else do you want to do? Fortunately, at this moment, 2 Umbu ninja, who had been hiding in the dark, jumped down from the top of the tree. Irika, Tonmak, all of you don't force Naruto to ask. What he just said was right. Mizuki was really beaten up like this by him. The bare-faced ninja mask took a few steps forward, took off his mask and looked at the people. What? Irika, Tonmak, and the others exclaimed at the same time, even though they had just seen Naruto coming down from Mizuki's body. Hearing this kind of answer from the Umbu people with their own ears still made their hearts feel extremely shaken. The bare-faced ninja mask nodded. You don't need to doubt. I just passed by this place with the cool world and saw with my own eyes the process of Naruto and Mizuki fighting. Speaking, the bare-faced ninja mask used that full of admiration eyes towards Naruto looked back. This Naruto guy is truly a rare genius. He has actually learned multiple shadow clone, Hiration, 8 gates escape, 3 types of complex forbidden techniques. These 2 Umbu guys are specifically in charge of monitoring Naruto. They listened to Sarutobi Hiruzen's arrangement and followed Naruto's side. Even the entire process of Naruto eating the sealing book, they also clearly saw it in their eyes. Although they did not understand why Sarutobi Hiruzen had to do so, they could only carry out the order. What? Irika, Tonmak, and the others simultaneously exclaimed in shock, their eyeballs almost falling to the ground. their faces filled. When does the forbidden art change to white cabbage? Seeing that his teammates had already taken the scroll back, the bare-faced Anbu ninja nodded towards the group. Then, you guys should first deal with Mizuki. As for Naruto, let's go back first and meet the third Hokage-sama to see how the third Hokage-sama plans to handle this matter. Naruto put his hands on the back of his head, smiling indifferently. I guess the third Hokage old man probably won't deal with me. He's so happy. As a transmigrator, Naruto still knew some details about this event of stealing the scroll. Shimura Danzo sent someone to maliciously spread the news, informing the villagers about Naruto's identity as the Nine-Tails, but intentionally concealed his identity as the fourth Hokage's son. Sarutobi Hiruzen's acting was too soft, allowing Danzo to do whatever he wanted, but it also caused Naruto to have to work extremely hard these past 10 years. And to be hated and despised by Byakugan everywhere. The sealed scroll book has always had a protective barrier, and there are also a large number of Anbu soldiers guarding it in shifts. How could someone with Naruto's strength be able to steal it at will? This time Naruto stole the sealed scroll book. It was Sarutobi Hiruzen who arranged it. The main reason is to be able to eliminate Mizuki, this traitor lurking in the shadows. On the other hand, it can also be considered that Sarutobi Hiruzen has such a trace of conscience, wanting to give Naruto some compensation. In the woods, the two Anbu soldiers carried the scroll and left with a few shakes. And Kotetsu Hagane, Aoba Yamashiro, and the others also lifted up Mizuki's dying body and headed out towards the forest. Why did Mizuki's body become weak and frail? What secret ingredients did the medicine contain? These all have to go through medical research staff, talent enough to achieve results. Iruka looked at Naruto with a slightly shaken gaze. He didn't think that Naruto, this guy who always made his emotions complicated and contradictory, would actually grow to this level in this short half-day. If the news that the Anbu ninja just spoke of was correct, Naruto's current strength had already undergone a huge change compared to before, and his future prospects were limitless. Naruto noticed Iruka's gaze, a little uncomfortable shivered. Iruka-sensei, why are you looking at me like that? Hearing that, Iruka regained his senses and walked forward to pat Naruto on the shoulder. Haha Naruto ah. Congratulations on not being successfully bewitched by Mizuki, protecting the sealed book safely. Let's go. Iruka-sensei will treat you to ramen. Long before running here, Iruka and the others already knew about Mizuki's attempt to charm Naruto in order to obtain the Book of the Seal. Naruto nodded. Good, I'm hungry too. Hokage Building Office. Sarutobi Hiruzen sat in front of his desk, his face full of surprise. What? You guys are mistaken. Naruto learned Hiraishin and 8 Gates release? The two Anbu ninjas glanced at each other and nodded slightly. Bear Masked Ninja said, Third Hokage, there's no mistake. This is what I and the Dark World saw with our own eyes. Sarutobi Hiruzen was stunned for a long time. Finally, a smile appeared on his face. Haha, good. This Naruto guy finally did not disappoint me. Although I don't understand why Naruto has such a powerful talent, just by looking at the scroll once, he was able to learn 3 types of forbidden techniques. But Sarutobi Hiruzen was still very happy in his heart. He had deliberately arranged this compensation plan for Naruto, and it achieved results that exceeded his expectations. The 4th Hokage Minato Namikaze, that year, relied on Hiraishin, this ninjutsu, to dominate the ninja world and obtain the title of Golden Lightning. After the 4th Minato, no one could learn Hiraishin, a spatial ninjutsu. Now Naruto not only finished learning Hiraishin, he also learned 8 Gates Dunjia. He is truly an existence that surpasses the blue. Sarutobi Hiruzen has made up his mind. In the following days, he only needs to give Kakashi good instructions and carry out the fire while brainwashing on Naruto. Locking Naruto and the Hidden Leaf Village together. In the future, Naruto will definitely be able to become a major pillar of the Hidden Leaf Village's fighting power. Okay, I know. You two go down first and call Kakashi for me. Thinking of this, Sarutobi Hiruzen ordered the 2 Anbu members. Yes, Lord Third Hokage. The 2 Anbu ninja nodded in agreement and disappeared from the spot. The afternoon sky slowly fell from the mountaintop. One day at dusk has arrived. Ichiraka ramen shop outside. 2 figures, one tall and one short, lifted the curtain at the door and sat down in front of the counter. Naruto, just order whatever flavor of ramen you want. Today I'm treating. Iruka closed his eyes and smiled, patting his chest and heartily speaking to Naruto. Good, Iruka-sensei. Naruto revealed an evil smile, then turned his head to look at the ramen uncle who was busy behind the counter. Uncle, I've come here first. 10 bowls of grilled pork and 5 bowls of beef noodles will fill your stomach. Right away, no problem. Ramen uncle's face was full of smiles. He still understood Naruto's big stomach. Naruto once, in order to satisfy his appetite, intentionally spent an entire month's worth of living expenses, and only at the end of the month did he intentionally go all out and eat a full 20 bowls of ramen. At that time, Uncle Ichikaru and his daughter Ayam were both stunned, looking at the round Naruto in his belly, their faces filled with disbelief. What? Irika's eyes almost widened. 1 bowl of ramen 62. 15 cups of ramen 902. Very good. Naruto here wants to eat all his 1 week's worth of food. Naruto chuckled and then laughed again, teasingly saying, What's wrong? Irika-sensei. Didn't you bring enough money? Otherwise I would have eaten a little less. Irika awkwardly scratched his head. No, Naruto. Eat your fill. The teacher can still afford that little bit of money. Irika is usually quite frugal and doesn't have any special living expenses. Based on his monthly teaching salary, he has saved quite a bit. While waiting on the noodle table during this period of time, Naruto kept his eyes fixed on Uncle Ichikaru, observing him carefully. You must know, Uncle Ichikaru is really a person that many Hokage fans suspect. The so-called Otsutsuki Ichikaru. Is this title true or not? Could it be that he really is the Otsutsuki clan that has been hiding in Konoha for many years? Uncle Ichikaru was busy for a moment, and also noticed Naruto's undisguised gaze. As if he wanted to see through the phenomenon to see the essence, stripping off his clothes to examine him. Uncle Ichikaru immediately felt fear in his heart. He stuttered and asked, Naruto, don't stare at me like that. At most wait a moment, and I'll give you some more grilled pork and beef. Naruto awkwardly coughed twice. Okay. Remember to double the amount. I don't know if it's Uncle Ichikaru hiding it well, or Naruto's eyes aren't sharp enough, but after looking for a while, he couldn't see anything. Irika turned his head to look at Naruto. His eyes filled with guilt. Naruto, no matter how you put it, I was a bit too harsh on you before. I apologize to you here. Naruto was slightly stunned. Turned his head to look at Irika's sincere and earnest eyes. His heart also felt a little moved. Perhaps it was because of Naruto's emotional influence. This kind of gaze was truly too rare. Never seen before. Naruto smiled awkwardly. Don't say that, Irika-sensei. You didn't do anything wrong. I really didn't pass the test today. This can't be blamed on you. Irika shook his head and said, No, Naruto. I'm not talking about today's matter. What I mean is that I shouldn't have treated you differently before, putting aside all identities. You are also my student. You are also the victim. Speaking, Irika's eyes revealed a trace of comfort. Naruto, no matter what, the teacher still wants to congratulate you here. Being able to learn Hiraishin and 8 Gates release. Teacher, I heard that these 2 magic methods are both extremely powerful existences. Your future achievements are definitely limitless. Naruto shook his head slightly. Hee, Irika-sensei, don't say that. Exaggerating to the point where I'm already in trouble is really inconvenient. Irika reached out to stroke Naruto's head. His eyes filled with tenderness. Naruto, it's only right that I praise you, because you are really excellent right now. No matter what. In the future you must definitely become an outstanding figure in Konoha. Just like what you often said before, becoming Hokage is your dream. I believe you will definitely succeed. Naruto's eyes trembled slightly, perhaps because of Irika's gentleness and sincerity. Naruto felt moved, and his eyes became a little wet. Naruto, you are now a little man. But don't cry so easily. Seeing Naruto like this, Irika once again affectionately patted his head. Immediately, Irika reached out to take off his Konoha Ninja Hitayate forehead treasure and brought it in front of Naruto. Congratulations. Today you officially graduate and become a ninja of the Hidden Leaf Village. Irika-sensei. Naruto was a little confused, reaching out to receive the Ninja Hitayate forehead treasure, and momentarily not knowing what to say. It can be seen that Irika has truly accepted Naruto in his heart. Otherwise, he wouldn't have revealed this kind of gentle gaze. Irika-sensei, I'm sorry. Becoming Hokage is no longer my dream. I'm afraid I'll disappoint you. Because this peaceful and beautiful Konoha village, I've long lost faith in it. Naruto silently muttered to himself. thinking of plotting to rebel against Konoha, but he did not waver. In my mind, there are still fragments of memories, mostly the disgusted looks I passed by on the way to school every time. And every time after school on the way home. The parents who came to pick up their child from school would intentionally pull their child away from Naruto. Makes Naruto like a plague god. Wherever he goes, he is chased away and insulted. The original Naruto grew up in such a situation, but was still able to maintain a positive and optimistic attitude, perhaps because he received the influence of Ashura's bloodline. But now Naruto is already different from the past, simply because he is now a time traveler. Naruto, Mr. Irika, the ramen is good, you two take your time first. At this time, the ramen uncle's daughter Ayam brought 2 large bowls of special ramen to the table. Thank you, Ayam-san. Naruto smiled and greeted her, his eyes lingering on Ayam's face for a few seconds. Then he picked up his chopsticks and started eating the noodles. When I watched anime before, I always felt that Ayam's beauty was very high. Now seeing it with my own eyes, I also confirm Naruto's thoughts. Ayam's appearance is really very beautiful. Matching with Kakashi, who is so handsome, is definitely more than enough. Try sliding. Try sliding. The sound of people sucking ramen kept ringing in front of the counter. Uncle Ichiraku Ramen's cooking skills can truly be called the best. It is worthy of his efforts to research and collect ramen seasoning recipes after visiting many villages on the ninja continent. Ah, so full, so full. 15 bowls of ramen in his stomach. Naruto patted his round belly, looking satisfied. Naruto, you really are edible. Irika originally thought that Naruto would waste food, but when he saw him eat it all, he was shocked. Naruto chuckled and then laughed again. Irika-sensei, actually with the amount of rice I eat, I can still have 5 more bowls. What? After eating ramen for a while, dusk had already passed. The sky gradually turned dark. After saying goodbye to Irika, Naruto went straight to his accommodation. After coming home, simply wash your face and go to bed early. Ding-ling. Early the next morning, the bedside bell rang, waking up Naruto, who was still immersed in a sweet dream. A system. Quickly start marking. Naruto yawned and sat up. The first thing he did was to make a request to the system. Every day like this once, the opportunity cannot be missed easily. Congratulations, host. Got weekend marked reward 1. New attribute ninjutsu, Rasengan, reward 2. Wind release, strong wind wave. As the lowly system's voice rang out, 2 beams of light flew out from the virtual interface, merging into Naruto's body. In just a flash, the Rasengan and the strong wind wave, 2 types of ninjutsu hand seals, as well as the items to pay attention to, all appeared one by one in Naruto's mind. Obtained Rasengan. And also a wind release ninjutsu can do it system, you are not that useless. Naruto's mouth revealed a trace of a smile. He was quite satisfied with this reward. Rasengan in its early stages. Its destructive power was considered extremely powerful for a ninjutsu. Even his father, the 4th Hokage Minato Namikaze, relied on these 2 techniques to become famous in the ninja world. And only then did he gain the title of Golden Flash. Currently Naruto's control of Hiraishin is not yet completely proficient. He will definitely need to practice more in the future. Getting out of bed simply after washing his face, he put on his orange Uzumaki clan's signature outfit, pushed the door open, and went down the stairs. It was just dawn. Downstairs on the street, there were very few people passing by. Only occasionally appeared ninja on the rooftop above galloping, as if wanting to hurry back to complete the communication work. There is also the restaurant owner who works early in the morning. At home the oven is busy a little early. Boss, bring me a basket of dumplings. A young couple stopped in front of the dumpling shop and shouted towards the owner's room. Oh my, come, what kind of pie filling do you want to eat? Inside the dumpling shop, there was a middle-aged man standing there. He was laughing heartily as he walked out from the room, enthusiastically calling out, 3 buns, 2 steamed buns. All right. Naruto passed by the dumpling shop first. Hearing the steamer opening and releasing the fragrant smell of dumplings, he couldn't help but swallow a mouthful of saliva. Although he ate a lot last night, Naruto is still growing up. Adding to the fight with Mizuki yesterday afternoon, opening the 8 gates escape used up a lot of energy. More than 10 bowls of ramen were long gone. Boss, give me 2 steamed buns too. Naruto walked forward and said, oh my, so funny. Just entered the room, the boss enthusiastically said a word, struggling his plump body from inside to come out. But when he saw Naruto coming back, The enthusiastic smile on his face suddenly froze, and a cold expression immediately appeared. Not for sale, or not you go. After saying that, the fat man didn't bother to pay attention to Naruto anymore, turned around and walked into the room. Naruto's face also turned cold. Pointing at the back of the young couple just now, he questioned, "Why not sell? Why were they able to buy your buns just now?" The chubby boss's kind of disgusting and hateful gaze. Naruto was really too familiar. In the past 10 years of life, Naruto had faced such gazes almost every day. "If I don't sell you, I won't sell you. What are you shouting at me for? Get lost quickly, or else I'll beat you up. You damned fox spirit." The fat boss turned his head, glared at Naruto with disgust, then turned and continued walking towards the inner room. "Haha, so amazing. I really want to see how you hit me, you damned fat pig." Naruto scolded back without any courtesy. Now Naruto but no longer has the kindness of before. As a transmigrator, the host is currently being bullied by villagers. Please make the following choices. Choice 1. Smash the dumpling shop owner's stall, get the reward. Earth release ninjutsu in the heart behead. Choice 2. Immediately kill the dumpling shop owner, get the reward, fire release ninjutsu gray burning. At this moment, the system's reminder sound rang out in Naruto's mind, causing him to be slightly stunned. Just buying a bun also triggers a selection quest? 2 types of selection. Both are for obtaining a type of ninjutsu. And Naruto himself is also a complete 5 attribute ninjutsu. Any attribute ninjutsu can be used. In the original work, when Kakashi was practicing wind release Rasen Shuriken, the reason why he used test paper to measure Naruto's attribute rather than wind release was because Naruto's wind release attribute was the strongest. The gray residue burns in the heart and beheads? System. I choose option 1. Destroy the bun shop owner's stall. Naruto just simply thought about it and chose the first option. Gray burning ninjutsu level is clearly much higher than the beheading in mind. Moreover, Naruto is not that kind-hearted. He has mercy on that dumpling boss. At this time, Naruto's side must have an Umbu ninja monitoring him. Naruto at this time still had no intention of immediately betraying and fleeing Konoha, so he could not do anything too out of the ordinary. Otherwise he would definitely make the 3rd Hokage and Danzo wary. You damned demon fox, you still dare to speak so boldly. See if I don't hit you today. Receiving the provocation of the dumpling shop owner, a wave of anger rose in his heart. Many years ago, when the Nine Tails attacked the village, his house was also destroyed. So this dumpling shop owner naturally only had hatred towards Naruto. While talking, he grabbed a rolling pin on the table, moved his plump body, and swung his stick towards Naruto. Naruto tilted his body, avoiding the hit of the stick, raised his foot and kicked him in the groin. "I'll give you a broken leg."
Break. Oh.
A loud scream like a pig being slaughtered rang out, attracting a few passers-by to look over. The dumpling shop owner felt his body almost shatter. The pain made his facial features distorted. He covered his lower body with both hands, fell to the ground and struggled. Not far away on the roof, 2 masked barefaced and tiger-faced Umbu were squatting above, only revealing their heads. Hearing the scream of the dumpling shop owner, the 2 of them couldn't help but frown. And Xia reached out to touch his crotch. "This Naruto guy is too cruel. Why do I feel like he has turned into a different person than before?" "Who says it isn't?" Before, when Naruto saw these villagers, they were all subservient. Now Naruto is truly arrogant to the extreme. Just as the 2 were whispering, in front of the bun shop stall below, Naruto picked up the rolling pin that had fallen on the ground and knocked it against the steamer and oven in front of the stall. Bang 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 sound rang out. The dumpling shop counter was smashed to a pulp. "Hey, that Naruto guy, isn't that a bit too much? Should we go stop him?" "Forget it. Let him go. We still shouldn't cause trouble." Bare-Face Mask and Tiger-Face Nose Hoot Hoot said they have been in charge of monitoring Naruto for several years. All these years, they saw with their own eyes Naruto encounter all kinds of silence and ridicule, and in their hearts they knew Naruto had suffered a lot. But those 2 people were like the other villagers. They didn't like Naruto as the Nine Tails guy. Right now, Naruto has some reservations, and it's because since yesterday, Sarutobi Hiruzen has completely looked at Naruto with different eyes. Prepare to train Naruto to become the next generation of elite ninja. Hearing Naruto suddenly learn Hiraishin and 8 Gates release, Sarutobi Hiruzen's eyes lit up. Even a fool could see how happy he was.
Hmm.
Congratulations, host. Completed the mission of destroying the bun shop owner's stall, got the reward. Earth release ninjutsu in the heart beheaded. Hearing the system's voice reminding him in his head, Naruto's mouth corners involuntarily revealed a trace of a smile. This 12 years of grievances, that part of the grievances at this moment finally have such a little vent. Ai woo woo woo. Beating people, there is no justice. Everyone come and judge. The ninja school graduate ninja bullied the villagers, smashed my stall, there is no justice. Ding Ding, the owner of the dumpling shop, was kicked in pain, and finally regained his strength. He saw his stall being smashed, lying on the ground crying loudly, rolling around, crying loudly, and shouting loudly. But his pranks were still very effective. On both sides of the street, there were shops and stores, and there were also passers-by. At this moment, they all gathered around, using that disgusting and hateful gaze to look at Naruto, criticizing Naruto. Uzumaki Naruto. You are so young. How can you not study well? Not only did you hit people, you also smashed someone's stall. That's right, the ninja school trained you guys, not to bully us commoners. I see him as a corrupt person. Indeed, that demon fox's nature does not change, only doing bad things. In an instant, Naruto turned into 1,000 people pointing at him. They made a circle of noise, as if they wanted to use their saliva to drown Naruto.
Break.
Naruto waved the rolling pin in his hand and hit it hard on the stove, making a loud bang. Everyone was scared stiff, took a half step back in fear, and stopped condemning Naruto. Naruto quietly glanced at this group of people and said in a low voice, "You guys are really amazing. Being so united and knowing how to stand on the moral high ground to criticize me." Speaking, Naruto pointed at the dumpling shop owner and shouted loudly, "Why don't you guys ask him if he wants to make a move on me, Tachi? Can I fight back? Can I defend myself? And can only let him beat and scold me? And you guys who act like you're righteous, all these years, have you guys not developed any prejudice against me? Don't you guys have this kind of fat bastard who insults and chases me away? That's right, inside my body is the nine-tailed demon fox, but what do I think? Is this something I can decide? What outrageous things have I ever done to you? I am currently a graduate of ninja school. I now have this strength and am no longer afraid of you guys, so I don't want to endure this anger from you guys anymore. I'm not afraid to tell you the truth. Even if you guys continue to insult and chase me away, I will use the same method to pay you back. I've had enough these past years." A round of hysterical screaming, Naruto let out all the discomfort in his heart. Isn't there someone sent to monitor? Not liking Jinchuriki also has negative emotions? No matter what kind of style. Hiration's mark has been planted in many places. Wanting to capture oneself is really not that simple. At worst, I won't wait here, but will directly find an opportunity to betray and escape. Perhaps it was because of Naruto's stubborn attitude. Or perhaps it was because of seeing the fat boss's encounter, making those onlookers feel scared. They all retreated covered in dust, silently turning around and leaving. Looking around at the people running away because of him, the dumpling shop owner looked towards Naruto. That kind of resentment became even stronger. He lay on the ground, glaring at Naruto for a while, and helplessly screamed, "You damned demon fox, I will definitely go to the third Hokage to report you. You smashed my shop. And even hit my people, I will definitely make the third Hokage arrest you, you stinking demon fox." Naruto had already turned around and wanted to leave, but he heard those vicious words coming from behind. He couldn't help but frown and turned around to go back. What do you want to do? If you hit someone again, I need to shout." Looking at Naruto approaching step by step, the dumpling shop owner's eyes revealed fear, constantly shrinking back. BA. Naruto didn't say a word, rushed forward and gave 2 slaps, fiercely hitting that fat guy's face. "This is the price you have to pay for your vulgar mouth. If you dare to continue scolding, then I dare to continue hitting. You. The dumpling shop owner's face, which was originally full of fat, now turned red and swollen even more. He looked at Naruto with eyes full of fear, probably afraid of being beaten again. "You for a long time did not dare to continue speaking. If you want to denounce me, go ahead. If you dare to curse again, it won't just be a simple slap twice. Be careful. I'll tear your mouth apart." Naruto glared at the bun boss fiercely, turned around and quickly walked towards the distance. Only left the boss with a dumbfounded expression, and hid away from the crowd watching the excitement. Hey, what happened? That hated demon fox Uzumaki Naruto, how did he turn into someone else? Who knows? He was not so arrogant and stubborn before, now he is repaying his arrogance with death. I still don't want to scold him in front of his face. I don't like him. But I also don't want my store that I've run for many years to be smashed to pieces by him. The sound of people whispering to each other rang out continuously. The villagers looked at Naruto's departing back and pointed, saying everything. But most of them have discovered the difference between the current Naruto and the past, and have all made up their minds in their hearts. From now on they cannot easily insult and curse him in front of him again. There is no justice, smashing the store and hitting someone. Just like that, arrogantly leaving, there is no justice. The dumpling shop owner started crying and rolling around again, but this time no one dared to help him speak. They just looked at him with pitiful eyes. Roof above. The two Umbu ninja glanced at each other, both seeing a trace of surprise in each other's eyes. They probably didn't think Naruto would be able to do something so different. The bare-faced Umbu ninja said in a low voice, "Matt Gioi, I will continue to follow that Naruto guide monitor. You quickly go back and report this matter to the third Hokage." "I know." On the street, Naruto held the back of his head in his hands and strode forward. The corner of his lips curled up into a smile. He was in a good mood. Too happy, also never had experienced this kind of pleasure of beating someone to take revenge. Lingering in Naruto's heart for many years of resentment and anger, gained quite a bit of relief. Before, Naruto encountered different treatment and bullying from the villagers. But each time he swallowed his anger, hearing those insulting curses, he turned around and silently walked out. Although Naruto has a kind heart and can silently digest those negative emotions every time, this does not mean that he does not have any resentment deep in his heart. It is just that he forcibly suppresses them. Now this kind of feeling completely erupted, except for the word comfortable. There is no better language to describe it. Without continuing to buy breakfast, Naruto crossed a few streets and arrived at a training ground. Today is the time for the ninja school to separate classes after graduation, but it's still early. So Naruto isn't in a hurry. Surround the practice array and jog 30 laps to warm up, then start strength training. 1,000 push-ups, 500 sit-ups, 1 hour of wooden stake pounding practice. This is all this morning must complete physical training program. Previously, although Naruto had a strong body training consciousness, he did not mainly cultivate physical techniques. But now is different from before. Naruto possesses 8 gates release, must completely raise the physical aspect. Every day's training intensity must be even greater than Rock Lee's. Otherwise wouldn't it be a waste of this Uzumaki clan's bloodline recovery ability? Practicing outside the yard in the woods, a small head peeked out from behind a large tree. Looking at Naruto practicing physical techniques so hard, she also decided in her heart she must strengthen her own practice to be able to catch up with Naruto's footwork. Naruto was doing push-ups, and when he raised his head to wipe his sweat, he suddenly noticed a movement in the woods, jumped up and ran towards the other side at high speed. "Ah, Naruto-kun." Hyuga Hinata's eyes flashed with fear, and she quickly turned around and ran towards the back. She didn't want to be caught by the other party. At that time, she wouldn't know how to explain. And it would be too embarrassing. "Stop. Is it Hinata?" Following the acquisition of Hiraishin and 8 gates release, Naruto's strength had already made a qualitative leap, and without much delay, he had already surpassed Hinata, blocking him. In fact, every morning before, Naruto would come to this training ground to practice ninjutsu. And Hyuga Hinata has long been in the habit of coming over here every morning to secretly glance at Naruto. It's just that now, with Naruto's strength increasing, he was able to quickly discover Hinata's existence. "Ah, Naruto-kun, that. I didn't mean to come here to see you." Hinata's face turned red. She stammered to explain, but didn't think she would still reveal what was in her heart. Naruto looked at Hinata, with eyes full of smiles, looking at her small face and Kurena's appearance. He couldn't help but feel fondness in his heart. Such a beautiful and adorable little girl, she is really too good. How come Naruto only had eyes for that little Sakura airport before? And didn't even bother to pay attention to Hinata, who had been silently following behind him? "Hinata, you also came here to practice. Want to come with me?" Naruto smiled and found a topic to help Hinata. "Ah, is this really possible, Naruto-kun?" Hinata's small face was red, her head hanging low. She might not have thought that Naruto would take the initiative to find a lower step for her, making her feelings for Naruto increase even more. "Nothing is impossible, let's go, Hinata." Naruto smiled, walked forward, took Hinata's hand, and headed towards the edge of the forest. Practice on the go. Naruto-kun, you. Hinata was momentarily at a loss, her embarrassed face turning even redder.
Glow.
Faced with this boy who has long admired in his heart for many years, this big secret trip. In her heart, besides being shy and nervous, she became even more nervous.
Sweet Ray.
Hinata, the Hyuga clan is best at gentle fists. I think your main practice is also physical arts. Practicing in the middle of the field. Naruto let go of Hinata's little hand, turned his head and smiled at Hinata and asked. Hinata's first time being in such close contact with Naruto, her heart became even more nervous. Only feeling her little heart pounding, she stuttered and asked in response. That's right. Naruto-kun, the Hyuga clan mainly practices physical technique and gentle fist acupressure. Naruto nodded. Like this, then the two of us will now start practicing physical technique against each other. Can you practice and help each other grow up? Hinata lowered her head and said softly. Okay, Naruto-kun, I'm just afraid it will affect your progress. Hokage building office inside. Sarutobi Hiruzen sat at his desk, holding a pipe in his hand, constantly puffing away.
Take.
Just arrived to work, heard news of Naruto beating up villagers, let Sarutobi. Hiruzen felt a little troubled inside. Naruto had never done such an unusual thing before, beating someone up. If this kind of thing was made a big deal, it would probably cause the villagers to feel pent-up anger and dissatisfaction. He frowned and asked, Makioi, is what you just said true? The tiger-faced ninja nodded slightly. Incomparable, Lord Third Hokage, I don't know why, but right now Naruto seems to have turned into a different person. His temper is a bit reckless. Moreover, that dumpling-spreading old man has already run to this side of the road. I'm afraid he'll wait a while. I will come to you here to complain immediately. Sarutobi Hiruzen helplessly shook his head. Ai, this Naruto brat really will cause me trouble. Annoying, but he has the strength now. Adding a little temper can't be avoided. As long as Kakashi properly trains and guides him in the future, that's it. In recent years, for Jinchuriki Naruto's supervision, there has been no interruption. 9. Aratobi Hiruzen also always understood some things about Naruto. Towards his personality is extremely understanding, bright, optimistic, positive, looking forward. Taking wanting to become Hokage as the dream slogan. Encourage yourself. For many years facing the villagers' ostracism, from beginning to end, he never gave up in his heart. That part of faith. From this point of view, Sarutobi Hiruzen really enjoyed Naruto, knowing that the school's fire brainwashing had a great effect on Naruto. Now, as Naruto's strength grows, his temperament also grows quite a bit. Fighting and teaching villagers this kind of thing, Naruto might have done it a bit too rashly, but this also won't let Sarutobi Hiruzen lose confidence in Naruto just like that. What level of ninjutsu is Hiration? What level of physical technique is 8 Gates Dunjia? In the entire Hidden Leaf Village, there may not be many people who can use it. Naruto currently possesses 2 types of techniques, so his future achievements are definitely limitless. How could Sarutobi Hiruzen make a big deal out of Naruto over such a small matter? Dong dong dong. Third Hokage, a villager came to find you, saying that Naruto smashed his shop and beat someone, and wants to find you to demand an explanation. The office door was knocked loudly. A male voice came from outside the door. Sarutobi Hiruzen couldn't help but say, I already know about this. Give him some money for medicine and then let his shop go under the hammer. Pay him 3 times the subsidy and let him go. Early morning sun slowly rises from the mountain top. 44 training on the field. Hinata and Naruto have been sparring for more than an hour. The two people's foreheads were covered in sweat, and they were breathing heavily. Another fist and palm clash. Naruto stopped the exchange. Hinata, today. Almost time to practice here, almost time to go ninja.
School.
The intense physical training below made Hinata's little face turn red. Looks so cute. She nodded lightly. Yes, Naruto-kun, I will listen to you in everything. Hinata mainly practices soft fists, and sparring with Naruto like this can only improve her physical skills, and is not her best training opponent. But being able to practice together with Naruto, Hinata was still very happy in her heart. Before, she could only dare to look at Naruto from afar, not daring to personally come up and talk to Naruto. For some reason, Hinata felt that Naruto was a bit different today. Very much, not only showing unusual enthusiasm towards her. even towards practicing physical arts. Time, also for her exceptional care. Hinata, today is a different class time, tomorrow morning. You will still come here. Do you want to practice together with me? Walking towards the ninja school on the road, Naruto turned his head as he walked, towards Hinata.
Question.
Hinata was a bit stunned, hesitated for a moment, then nodded and agreed. Naruto-kun, I'm really happy to be able to practice with you. Looking at Hinata's somewhat frightened and weak appearance, Naruto only felt. She is more lovely. Looking at the original Naruto, it can be very clear that Hinata matured step by step through her cultivation. In addition to her external strength, her inner fortitude and resilience also increased. Take Naruto's ninja way. Consider it as her own ninja way. When pain attacked Konoha, Hinata wanted to save Naruto. Knowing that she couldn't defeat the enemy, she still tried her best to rush to the rescue. This kind of a weak on the outside but strong on the inside beautiful girl, who would. Don't like it. The two people chatted while slowly walking towards the school. Mainly, Naruto seemed to be unafraid of strangeness, constantly asking Hinata questions. Hinata blushed a little and answered bluntly. This feeling is really a bit like the first date between a man and a woman, walking together. The streak goes back and forth meaning. Very quickly, the two of them arrived at the classroom and sat down in their seats. In the class, students also rushed to chase. Each class will have 3 people in each group, and a Shengen teacher will lead you to start carrying out the mission. Wait a moment, I will remember your names and also the nicknames. Everyone be careful. 4 or 5-year-old children, before they can enter ninja school, will also have a test of whether they can condense chakra. Can condense chakra to talent at ninja school to school. To school like that time 5-6 years down, still need to conduct the final 3 body assessment item. Completed training of the 3 types of ninjutsu, clone, transformation, and substitute. One is qualified to graduate from ninja school. And this Naruto class itself has 30 or 40 people. After yesterday's graduation exam, 2/3 of the population has been cleared. The 3-body technique may seem simple, but it also requires a certain amount of talent and ability to complete its cultivation. Yesterday, Naruto was also unable to complete the transformation technique, almost being demoted and not qualified to become a ninja. The 7th class 3 parts rank are Uchiha Sasuke, Sakura Haruno, Uzumaki Naruto. Iruka on the podium was still thinking to himself as he looked at the list of names arranged on it. Finally in the same group as Sasuke. Little Sakura heard this news and was almost so excited that she jumped on the spot. But when he heard that he and Naruto were in the same group, his expression instantly fell. What that guy Naruto doesn't like, why did he have to put me and him in the same group? Before, Naruto always clung to little Sakura and wouldn't let go, even being stupid. He made up some random encounters on the way to school, making little Sakura feel very annoyed, even a little disgusted. What might surprise little Sakura is that Naruto is unusually quiet today, unlike his usual loud and soft shouting. She turned her head to look at Naruto sitting not far away, but only received a straight middle finger from him, along with a round of Byakugan. This made little Sakura very angry. The veins on her forehead popped out. Naruto, you want to die? You dare to look at me like that? But Iruka was still reading the class group names above. So little Sakura couldn't get angry. Naruto looked at little Sakura with an evil smile, then ignored her. Now Naruto may not be interested in little Sakura. Of course he won't continue to be a licking dog. Tenten chased after little Sakura and wouldn't let go. Hinata, don't you smell good? Ino, don't you smell good? Later all our big-breasted sisters. Personality and temper are good, can't be compared to that little Sakura. A block of washboard is much stronger. The 8th class 3 people in order are Hyuga Hinata, Kiba Inuzuka, Shino Aburame. The 10th class 3 people in order are Choji Akimichi, Shikamaru Nara, Ino Yamanaka. Ino, who had originally hoped to be assigned to a different class with Sasuke, had long since given up hope for this class division. But when she heard that she and the 2 others were assigned to a group, she instantly collapsed and lay on the table, head down.
Why?
Even if I can't be in the same class as Sasuke-kun, just give me 2 handsome guys, 1 big lazy guy, plus 1 big fat guy. What is this for, woo woo woo? Ino cried without tears. Huh? Big fatty, fat pig. Choji, who had been busy stuffing potato chips into his mouth, stopped when he heard Ino's words. Bastard. Choji's eyes burned with raging fire. He turned his head to look behind Ino, Standing up, he wanted to go fight. Shikamaru hurriedly grabbed Choji's arm. Hey, Choji, calm down. We're still in class. Don't act rashly. Haha. Choji, I'm sorry, I wasn't scolding you just now. You must have misheard. Ino looked scared and quickly covered her mouth, awkwardly waving her hands to apologize. On the podium, Irika also noticed the movement of the people below, loudly instructing. Choji, Ino, Shikamaru, what are you guys doing? All of you sit properly for me. From now on, divide into classes. Don't form small groups. You can help each other. Yes, Irika-sensei. The class division is almost complete. Irika gave a few more instructions, then took the form and left the classroom. Without the teacher to supervise, the students' chattering voices resounded throughout the classroom. After about half an hour, the masters of the Shengnin class came one after another to pick up all the students in their class. 1 hour later, in the classroom there were only Naruto, Sasuke, and little Sakura, 3 people left. Naruto really knows Kakashi's dirty nature. That lover is late. If he doesn't wait a few hours, he won't come. So, Naruto immediately leaned on the desk and snored loudly. Little Sakura looked expectant as she walked toward Sasuke. That Sasuke-kun. Who do you think will be the leader of our teacher? The latest person to arrive. Could it be that his strength is also the strongest? I don't know. Sasuke folded his arms and raised his chin, his face cold as he answered with 3 words. Little Sakura's face was hot and her but was cold, so she had no choice but to return to her seat with a surprised expression, turning her head to the other side and glaring at Naruto uncomfortably. What an unruly guy, sleeping here? Before, Naruto also always loved to chase after little Sakura. This also gave her a perfect sense of superiority. She was surprised by Sasuke's body at this moment, and immediately wanted to find that feeling of superiority on Naruto's body. Let me be your test. I love to sleep. Can you control me? Naruto raised his head, said something to her without any courtesy, laid back down on the desk, and continued to snore loudly. You. Little Sakura pointed at Naruto for a while, and didn't say anything after that. She felt that Naruto was a bit strange today, completely different from before. Doesn't he like me? Didn't Tenten follow me around the back of my ass before? Girls' minds are very sensitive. Even though Naruto didn't say anything about liking or confessing, little Sakura still knew what those little wrinkles were thinking about Naruto. But now Naruto suddenly changed to an appearance of not caring about her, immediately making her feel like she had lost something in her heart, suddenly very uncomfortable. 2 hours later, in the classroom there were still only Naruto, Sasuke, and little Sakura. Sasuke also no longer crossed his arms, using that cold and high posture to lift his chin, lazily leaning on the chair, waiting for the lead teacher to arrive. Sakura Haruno tried to talk to Sasuke several times, but was choked by his cold attitude. She could only lazily lean on her desk, looking towards the direction of the classroom door, waiting for the teacher to come. But Naruto was the strangest thing. Not only did he sleep with drool, he even snored. 3 hours later, it was almost time for lunch. In the classroom, the 3 people's butts were already numb. The classroom door was finally slowly pushed open. Wearing a mask, Kakashi poked his head in through the crack in the door, smiling and closing his eyes as he greeted the crowd. Hey, how are you all? Teacher, you're late. Sakura Haruno and Sasuke simultaneously let out angry roars, expressing their dissatisfaction with Kakashi's lateness. Naruto, who was snoring, was also awakened by this sound. He raised his head and wiped his drool. How is it? Kakashi's face showed an embarrassed expression as he pushed the door open and entered the classroom. Haha, I'm sorry. Konoha is so big. I got a little lost these past few days. Dupe. Sakura Haruno and Sasuke simultaneously let out a screech, haughtily hugging their arms. Unwilling to believe this kind of shabby excuse, Kakashi slowly walked into the classroom. His eyes glanced at the 3 people a few times and finally stopped on Naruto. He muttered to himself, "This is the teacher's son, who was scolded by the villagers as a fox demon, but yesterday miraculously learned Hiraishin and 8 Gates Stuinja. Just yesterday, Sarutobi Hiruzen personally summoned Kakashi, told him about Naruto's experiences in recent years, and what happened yesterday." Kakashi was also extremely surprised at this. At the age of 12, he was able to learn 2 types of techniques in such a short period of time. His natural talent was truly too heaven-defying. Seeing those kids looking angry, Kakashi scratched his head and said with a smile, I'm sorry. To make it up to you, I'll treat you to some barbecue. Really? Upon hearing that there was grilled food, Sakura Haruno's eyes immediately lit up. Of course, eating grilled food is not the main thing that makes her happy. The main thing is being able to eat with Sasuke, even though they are not on a date. It still makes her happy. Cut. This way you want to chase us away. Sasuke made another pose, his arms crossed and his chin raised, showing an indifferent attitude.
Indeed.
As expected of Wang Erjuzi, his martial arts skills have reached a certain level, and with every wave of his hand, he exudes awe. Naruto chuckled and said, "Teacher, then you need to prepare your wallet carefully. My food intake can be very large." Kakashi patted his bulging wallet, squinted his eyes, and said with a smile, "Don't worry. The three of you can just eat, you'll be full. Let's go." Kakashi waved his hand and led the way towards the classroom door. Naruto, three people also stood up, quickly followed Kakashi's footsteps. It is now autumn time, the noon sun shines on the body, giving people a warm feeling, also very comfortable. Very quickly, Kakashi's squad of four crossed several streets and arrived outside a barbecue shop. While eating, Kakashi's squad made a simple self-introduction to each other. In fact, Naruto, little Sakura, and Sasuke all know each other. Originally in the same class, waiting time of 5-6 years. Wanna say not familiar? How is that possible? Every day at school. We don't know how much we have to face each other. Although we don't interact much, we're still quite familiar with each other. But this self-introduction was intentionally requested by Kakashi. It is also that one set of introduction process, such as your interests, likes, dislikes, future dreams, etc. According to Kakashi's meaning, this is a process that must be carried out before every new class is formed. The purpose of going one is so that between each other can have a deeper understanding. The other is also to be able to close the distance between everyone. Ah, so full. Naruto patted his round belly, looking satisfied. In order to stop Kakashi, Naruto deliberately ate 50 tables of roast beef. Only until he was about to spit it out did Naruto finally regain his composure. Naruto, you're too much, eating so much. You've spent all of Kakashi-sensei's money. Little Sakura silently looked at Naruto. In fact, deep down she also really admired Naruto, being able to eat and drink freely without caring about other people's opinions. In order to leave a good impression in front of Sasuke, she had just eaten a little bit. But her stomach was not even full. Naruto retorted, "Why do you care so much? Kakashi-sensei has money. How could he care about that much money?" Kakashi's eyes followed the Ica paradise in his hand and looked at Naruto. "Ah, that's right. Do you still want to eat? If you're not full, you can continue." Kakashi graduated at the age of 5 and began to carry out ninja missions. Ninja mission reward. This is very rich. Like Kakashi, he has no other hobbies. Most of the time is spent going out to carry out ninja missions or to practice cultivation. The only time he could spare was to read yellow novels at home. Have money, also not local flour, eh? So many years of saving up the mission reward. I'm afraid he won't be able to spend it all in this lifetime. So such a small stop for food for Shengnan is completely not worth mentioning. This is also why Asuma Sarutobi often invites the great King Choji Akimichi to eat grilled meat, without even blinking an eye. Seeing that the other boys didn't want to continue their conversation, Kakashi put away the book in his hand and said in a low voice, "Okay, then everyone go your separate ways. Tomorrow morning, come to the ninja school's east training field and begin your first ninja mission." Speaking up to here, Kakashi revealed a trace of an evil smile. "Remember, no need to eat breakfast tomorrow morning, or else you will all spit it out. Hee. Looking at Kakashi's evil smile, little Sakura couldn't help but show fear on her face. "Ah, Kakashi-sensei, are you going to take us to the cesspool to do work? Why are we vomiting?" Sasuke seemed to have fallen for Kakashi's trick. He forcefully swallowed a mouthful of saliva, his expression tense. "Are you an idiot, little Sakura? What Kakashi means is, the mission difficulty level is very high, so we don't need to relax." Naruto had an indifferent expression. He already knew the script, so he naturally knew what Kakashi was planning. Fooled the rich man into not having to eat breakfast, and made a spirit-seizing test, testing the tacit understanding of Naruto and the other three. There was a stupid guy who was tied to a tree and watched his other two teammates eat bento, but could only starve. "Ai, what a pity, that stupid guy isn't me." Naruto muttered silently. Kakashi saw the reaction of those boys and was quite satisfied. Then, you guys can go your separate ways next. Once you're done, go back and organize yourself. Be ready for tomorrow's mission. And Kakashi disappeared from the spot. Sakura Haruno walked up to Sasuke, her hands clasped behind her back, and asked with a shy smile, "Hey, Sasuke-kun, do you have any plans this afternoon? I wanted to ask you to go for a walk together." Sasuke put on a cold face and waved his hand, saying, "Not interested. I don't have time to do those useless things. You should find Naruto to go with you." After that meal just now, the few people compared to before seemed to be more familiar with each other. So Sasuke, just like that without hesitation, handed this little Sakura's clingy clothes to Naruto. Little Sakura heard this and immediately raised her small mouth, looking like she didn't care. Cut. Who wants to walk around town with someone like Naruto? Naruto glanced at her. Don't worry, even if you beg me to go, I won't go. I'll use my time to cultivate. After speaking, without waiting for the two to reply, Naruto opened the door of the room and headed straight towards the direction of the 44th training array. There is still a whole afternoon today. Cannot waste it all like this. The current 8 gates Dunjia can only open up to 3 gates, which is still lacking a lot. Naruto must quickly increase his physical technique training to increase his physical strength. Before betraying and fleeing Konoha, Naruto had to make himself stronger. After all, the Nine Tails was sealed in his body, and the Akatsuki group still had their sights set on the Nine Tails. With Naruto's current strength, if he betrayed and fled to Konoha, self-defense should not be too much of a problem. Just need to lower enough Hiraishin markers. When it senses danger, just fly straight away. But if they were to encounter the Akatsuki organization's 2-person group, they would probably only have the option of escaping, without the ability to resist. That kind of time being chased by people everywhere, thinking about it already feels very uncomfortable. Therefore, he never left Konoha for several decades because of the Akatsuki organization. About the other thing. One is Naruto wants to destroy that damned old man Danzo. Think carefully, and you will know that Naruto's suffering over the past 10 years was mostly caused by Danzo. Danzo sent people behind the scenes to spread the news that Naruto was the nine-tailed demon fox, letting everyone in the village know. It's true that Danzo intentionally hid one thing. That is Naruto's identity, the son of the 4th Hokage. Making the big guys hate and loathe Naruto, it could also be that Danzo wanted Naruto to fall into ruin. He would be the one to inherit the next generation of Jinchuriki candidates. This point, according to the original story of Pain attacking Konoha and Tsunade being in a coma for a period of time, can be seen. Danzo really has this kind of ambition. He personally said that if the tailed beast's power is placed on someone else, he won't be at ease. Apart from that, there is one more important reason. A traitor fleeing to Konoha, that's not a big deal. No matter what, I have to bring a girl to escape and kidnap Hinata easily. Right now Naruto and Hinata's relationship has just begun to form. No matter what, he had to wait for the two to establish a relationship, then take her along to betray and run away. While wondering about these things in his head, Naruto had already returned to the 44th training ground outside, without realizing it. Now noon just passed, is the time when the sun is sharpest. It was a training field, but there was a green figure right on the training field runway, practicing upside-down walking. Green tight shirt, watermelon rind hairstyle, plus that thick eyebrows. Who else could it be but Rock Lee? Rock Lee, you worked so hard to cultivate, it's really hard. Naruto walked forward, enthusiastically waving his hand to strike up a conversation with Rock Lee. Rock Lee turned over, removed his head, wiped the sweat from his forehead, and looked at Naruto with some confusion.
That.
You know me? Naruto was stunned by the question. That's right, now it's not even 12 years old yet. Rock Lee's group of 3 people are taller than the other 9 people last time.
So,
Rock Lee at this moment still doesn't recognize Naruto. This makes it a bit confusing. Naruto scratched his head, following his finger pointing behind the trees outside the road, saying, I just heard a passerby say, she said your name is Rock Lee. I saw you practicing so hard, so I came to say hello to you. Rock Lee looked confused. Auntie? Could it be that Aunt Zhang is next door to me? He muttered a sentence, but very quickly did not pay too much attention to this kind of detail, friendly reaching out to Naruto. Hello, I am Rock Lee. May I ask who you are? Naruto reached out and shook hands with the other person. Hello, I am Uzumaki Naruto. Nice to meet you. Rock Lee raised his hand and used his thumb to prop up the umbrella. his white teeth flashing with a golden light. Naruto-kun, you must have come here to cultivate. Why don't we come together and burn our youthful sweat together? Looking at Naruto's forehead wearing the Dai Ninja Hitayate, forehead treasure, Rock Lee also recognized Naruto's ninja identity. What? Naruto looked confused. What kind of Chinibu line was this? Sure enough, only a Chinibu like Might Guy can train such a Chinibu disciple. Youthful sweat. Good. Let's cultivate together. Not wanting to sweep Rock Lee's excitement aside, Naruto still nodded in agreement. On the contrary, I myself also want to cultivate. Having a companion can also bring some promotion effect. Rock Lee began to continue walking upside down. But Naruto did not choose to practice this way, and started his habit of warming up by jogging. Then start push-ups, sink down, lead the body up, hit the wooden stake, wait a bit for a series of exercises. This time the afternoon physical training came down. Rock Lee's training method also really made Naruto open his eyes. Every hour, he has a fixed schedule to do that kind of practice. He didn't even need to look at the clock. As soon as the time came, his body's instincts would immediately carry out the next exercise movement. Just from this point, you can see it. Rock Lee almost integrated his physical training into his own essence. Every moment, he was thinking about training, having to get stronger, using this method to urge himself. To this, Naruto could only helplessly express a sigh. Alas, useless. No matter how hard one cultivates, it is still not comparable to those pressures. In the world of Naruto, in the end, it's almost all about relying on bloodline power to become stronger. It's not like Rock Lee is simple. Relying on physical training methods can catch up. One afternoon passed very quickly. The sun had long since set, and the sky was gradually turning dark. Naruto poured the last drop of water from the water bottle into his mouth, stood up and prepared to say goodbye. Rock Lee, how much more do you want to cultivate? Aren't you going to eat first? Break. Rock Lee finally kicked the wooden stake again. This is the only time his hand stopped. He turned his head and said to Naruto, No, Naruto-kun, I still have 1 hour to eat. I still need to practice 1,000 horizontal kicks in this hour. So I can't eat for now. Alright then, you continue to complete your cultivation. I'll go eat first. Naruto nodded slightly, waved goodbye to Rock Lee, turned around and headed out towards the training ground. Even though he was a ninja, Naruto had never undergone such intense training before. Like that, the whole afternoon came. The body had already become very tired. Even the muscles in the area all transmitted a slight feeling of tension and pain. Naruto knew this was his body giving him a warning. Today's training was already enough. I originally thought I wanted to practice with greater intensity than Rock Lee, but I didn't expect this to be a gradual process. Naruto muttered helplessly. Rock Lee, after all, practiced this kind of high-intensity training method for many years. Even though Naruto had the Uzumaki bloodline to support him, he still couldn't catch up in a short period of time. But these problems are not very big. My body is not feeling well now. I just need to go back and sleep. I will be fully recovered tomorrow. At the roadside self-service fast food restaurant, bought 2 bento and finished eating. Naruto then turned around and went home. Go to the bathroom to wash away the sweat stains. Lying on the bed, recalling this day and that rich process, feeling quite satisfied. Everything is developing in a good direction. Strength increases at a very fast speed. Unconsciously, I closed my eyes and fell asleep to the past. Early the next morning, when the sky was just getting light, the alarm clock on the bedside table rang loudly. Carefully agreed with Hinata. Every morning to practice together. Every day this only little date time, also only so short, just over an hour. Enough talent to collude with Hinata, this little sister. How can I miss it? Naruto sat up from the bed, yawned and stretched. System mark. Marked successfully. You are about to give the reward. Please wait a moment. Congratulations, host. You have obtained Reward 1. Ninjutsu, Earth Release Earth Flowing Wall. Reward 2. Hexagonal Shuriken times 3. Reward 3. Explosion Talisman times 3. As expected, the daily reward is not very rich. But having a soil-flowing stone is not bad. Naruto muttered, also got out of bed, and put on his orange sports clothes. Before reading the original work, Naruto always had a problem in his mind. Why does Naruto always wear that same outfit? Doesn't he need to change and wash it? Until I transmigrated and opened the wardrobe to look. Quite good. Except for pajamas and regular short-sleeved outerwear, there are 6 sets of this orange sportswear hanging on the clothes rack. 6 identical sets of clothes. What kind of fuss is this? However, looking at Naruto's past memories, he really never intentionally went shopping for clothes. These clothes all looked like someone had prepared them for him in advance and placed them in the wardrobe. Even the milk and instant noodles in the refrigerator are periodically put in by someone. Naruto's coarse nerves had never paid attention to these issues before. But now it's not like that. As a time traveler, I still feel very surprised about these things. Actually, if you think carefully, you can know the reason behind this. Naruto was originally an orphan. Living alone since childhood, at a very young age, his ability to take care of himself was very limited. And those in charge of supervising the Umbu ninja must have given the third Hokage's orders to help Naruto replenish food and clothing. After all, Konoha Orphanage each month can lead to relief money is not much. Not even higher than 1,002 amount. With that amount of money, it's not enough to just buy food, let alone buy regular clothes. Moreover, Naruto's childhood passed so tragically. Sarutobi Hiruzen still had some doubts in his mind. This small act of kindness could be considered as Sarutobi Hiruzen's compensation for the guilt and regret in his heart. As for why Naruto wanted to arrange 6 sets of the same orange sportswear, just from the Crimson Uzumaki clan's clothing behind, one could guess. This represents a family symbol. Just like Sasuke always wears that short-sleeved blue outfit, on the back of it there is also a very large Uchiha clan symbol. Although the Uzumaki clan and the Uchiha clan have both declined, the ninja group has always had a part of the old friendship mentality. Want to bring these once villages made 2 heavy contributions to the great clan honor, continue to maintain down. Naruto went to the refrigerator and opened the door, took out a bag of milk and kneaded flour. Simply finished breakfast after that, directly headed towards the training area Samui. 44 Practice on the field. A small figure had already arrived, standing at the edge of the runway, occasionally looking around towards the outskirts of the road. Pure white pupils, short black hair, arms crossed in front of the body, 2 fingers constantly moving in circles. Thinking about being able to meet Naruto often in the future, Hinata felt extremely happy. And a blush involuntarily appeared on her small face. These years until now, Hinata often recalls the story of that year when she was 4 years old. That was a heavy snowfall in the afternoon. Hinata was attracted by the beautiful scenery of the heavy snow outside, so she ran out to the Hyuga clan to play alone. Who would have thought that along the way, she would be blocked by a few children from the same village and at the same time mocked her as the white-eyed monster. Hinata is kind-hearted. Naturally doesn't want to argue too much with those kids. Being humiliated and ridiculed like this also made Hinata feel extremely wronged and miserable. Luckily at that moment, Naruto appeared. Naruto used that to show off his strong body and block Hinata in front of him. Not only did he come forward to help Hinata, he even complimented Hinata's beautiful eyes. The price to pay was Naruto being beaten by the other party's few people until his face was bruised and bruised. Even Naruto's favorite red scarf was taken away. Also trampled on the ground by the opponent, torn to shreds. From that time on, Naruto's figure was deeply engraved in Hinata's heart. Later, when she entered the ninja school, she saw Naruto chasing after little Sakuras but all day long. Hinata also knew that Naruto already liked little Sakura. Although she felt disappointed in her heart, she still did not disturb him. Just silently looked at Naruto from afar. Naruto-kun, don't worry, no matter what, I will always support you from behind. Hinata thought to herself, a happy smile appearing on the corner of her mouth. Yesterday Naruto deliberately approached her, making her feel very happy. Although this and the normal Naruto's personality are a bit different, but no matter how you say it, that is Naruto. Hey Hinata, what are you still standing there for? You haven't responded for half a day. Naruto's voice rang out. Not far away. Naruto walked along that small path, smiling as he greeted. Naruto-kun, good morning. Turning her head to look at Naruto, Hinata's face once again turned red. Good morning, Hinata. When did you get here? Naruto closed his eyes and smiled, looking at this shy and soft girl, his heart filled with love. This kind of feeling is like a fresh flower blooming in the heart, making people involuntarily feel very happy. Maybe in the previous life, feminism was too severe. Like the current Naruto towards Hinata, like this fragile sister, completely lost any resistance capacity. Hinata lowered her head, her fingers twirling around at an even faster speed, That. I haven't been here for long. I just arrived, Naruto-kun. Have you had breakfast? Naruto smiled and nodded. Yes. Eat. Here you go. Hinata also nodded slightly. I'll eat too, then let's start practicing. There is not too much flowery language communication, and even less sweet communication. But the two people's eyes met in the middle, as if they could feel each other's feelings. Sometimes between men and women, there will be a common magnetic field. Under this magnetic field, there is no need to mention too many things. All can be. Give each other a feeling of comfort and ease. But that kind of sweet feeling in my head is the taste of love. Naruto and Hinata are currently in this state. Every time the fists and arms clash, it is very serious, but also because it can be fought together. Practice together, but feel very happy in heart. Jogging to warm up, physical training, and wooden stake pounding. Time was limited in the morning, but Naruto still brought Hinata along and made a complete set. Physical training. Naruto-kun, I had fun training with you, but right now, the time is, it's getting late. We must go to Kurenai-sensei's side to gather. Hinata's small face turned red, and she bid farewell to Naruto. Well, good. It's almost time for me to go to class 7. Naruto smiled and nodded. Speaking at the same time, Naruto suddenly reached out and helped Hinata wipe the fine sweat on her forehead. Naruto-kun suddenly appeared intimate gesture, made Hinata's face turn even redder, all the way to the neck of the root.
Nothing.
I am willing, Hinata said to herself. Her eyes trembled slightly. She mustered up the courage to look up at Naruto, her eyes revealing a bit of anticipation. Naruto scratched the back of his head, revealing a smile. Hee Hinata. Autumn is coming soon. Pay attention to wear cool clothes. Remember to drink lots of hot water. The scheming boy achieved his goal. Having physical contact with a female student intentionally or unintentionally, using this to pull the distance between them closer. This was previously spent 9 blocks, 9 packages. The price is very high, is currently on the market to buy, Secret Guide to Flirting inside the method. Looking at Hinata's shy appearance, this method was most likely effective. Who said that the products sold by Li Shi are all fake? Isn't this also very practical? Naruto was so happy inside. What? Drink a lot of hot water. Hinata's face was slightly stiff. The corners of her mouth twitched. Drink lots of hot water? Why does this sentence sound so unpleasant? In the eyes of the expectant light receded. Involuntarily appeared a trace of disappointment. Sure enough, he and that idiot Naruto from before also didn't understand the heart at all. Daughter's opinion. Hinata nodded slightly. Yes. Naruto-kun, don't worry, I will take good care of myself, goodbye. After saying that, Hinata turned towards the training ground outside and jogged away. Naruto wiped the sweat from his forehead and headed in another direction. Ninja school east of a mountain forest outside the city. 9 Akura Haruno and Uchiha Sasuke, the two of them, had already reached their goal very early. This place is Kakashi's local gathering place. Hearing Kakashi speak so seriously yesterday, the two of them also should be treated seriously. Come early to wait. Hey, good morning. Before long, Naruto slowly walked over from the distance on the road above, waving his hand, and two people greet. Today Naruto was in a good mood, so he appeared exceptionally enthusiastic. Naruto, you bastard. Are you in a hurry? There's still 5 minutes until the assembly time. Little Sakura's forehead veins popped out. For Naruto, this kind of special behavior in the heart feel a little uncomfortable. Naruto shrugged indifferently. What are you in a hurry for? Didn't I already arrive? And speaking of which, isn't there still one person who hasn't arrived? After hearing this, little Sakura and Sasuke glanced at each other, recalling Kakashi's visit yesterday. Late action. In the hearts of the two people vaguely had a bad premonition. Naruto ignored the two of them and walked straight past them, found a large flat rock, and jumped down to lie down. Kakashi is addicted to being late. He can't follow the usual routine. Instead of standing there stupidly waiting, it's better to lie down and rest for a while. It's so comfortable. Naruto spread his arms and stretched his back. The rising sun shines on people, giving them a warm feeling, and is also very comfortable. Little Sakura turned her head and glared at Naruto, silently saying, Naruto, are you like this? Or not a bit too much? Wait a moment, we'll be scolded. Naruto's lazy voice rang out. You are not a class cadre now. You have no right to interfere in such matters. These words made little Sakura choke, leaving her speechless for a moment.
Speak.
Sasuke also turned his head to look at Naruto. Helplessly shaking his head, obviously, he was against it. Naruto's way of doing this also somewhat disagrees. But 2 hours later, at exactly 9 o'clock, little Sakura and Sasuke, in a flash, also knew what was called fragrant.
Real.
That Kakashi guy is too shameless. Every time he's late, it's hours late. The two of them, amidst the sounds of complaints and lamentations, finally choose to give in, find a place, lean back, and sit down. Originally, did not have breakfast, stood up for a while, just stupidly waited for someone to appear. That is a very torturous thing to do. Retired. Finally, a figure jumped out from afar and appeared, finally stopping in front of the three people. I was just helping an old lady cross the street, so I'm late. Kakashi closed his eyes and smiled, waving his hand in greeting. Fooling people.
7.
Little Sakura and Sasuke let out a dissatisfied scream. Naruto heard the noise, also jumped up from the big rock, stood next to Sasuke, his expression indifferent. So, next I will come and explain to you guys the content of today's mission. Kakashi's shameless expression did not catch the eyes of little Sakura and Sasuke's dissatisfaction, forcing the topic to move to the next step abruptly. So, the three of Naruto stood together, quietly listening to Kakashi's explanation. Kakashi's general meaning is still the same as the original. Take out 2 spirit tokens, say 2 people must steal the spirit tokens, consider it as passing the test smoothly. As for the other one, who cannot be robbed of his soul, he must be expelled back to school.
What?
Little Sakura's eyes widened. She held her cheeks, her face startled. She understood her level if it was a written exam. She could still confidently take the first few positions. It was necessary to discuss this kind of actual combat. Moreover, it was to rob the things in the hands of the shinobi. She basically did not have this kind of confidence. Excuse me, being expelled from school is very embarrassing, okay? Sasuke's eyes stared at Kakashi's side, filled with confidence. Is that so? I really won't give in. Naruto also did not say anything, just stood to the side and watched. At first, he was not very interested in this kind of broken script. Okay. The official assessment begins. Everyone go get ready. Seeing that the three of them had no objections, Kakashi took out Ica Paradise from his pocket and turned around to start observing. Retired. Sasuke and Sakura heard that. Both quickly ran and jumped, rushing into the bushes. Little Sakura hid under a dense forest, lying on the ground, watching the movements outside. Sasuke hid in a large tree branch, revealing his head, examining the movements below. It was a 3-person team, but 1 person was missing. Naruto still stood there motionless. Little Sakura frowned. That Naruto guy. Why are you in a daze? Doesn't he know that the ninja, who pays the most attention, should be hiding his body? Moreover, the opponent is still a Jinchuriki. If he looks like this, he will be immediately dealt with by the opponent. Sasuke also had a look of confusion. Naruto, what exactly do you want to do? Naruto was stunned in place. Not that he didn't want to immediately run away. Only at this moment, the system's lowly reminder voice rang in his head. The host is currently conducting an original script mission. The spirit robbery is being assessed. Please host make the following mission selection. Choice 1. Successfully rob Kakashi's body of the spirit. Obtain reward 1. Chakra control mastery. Second place, successfully rob Kakashi's spirit from his body and successfully use 1000-year kill on it. Chakra control mastery? Naruto's eyes revealed a trace of joy. This kind of ability sounds simple, like it doesn't have much effect, but in fact its effect is great. Chakra control is a skill that every healing ninja must master. The more elite the medical ninja, the more refined the chakra level they possess, the more advanced they are. But a top-level medical ninja like Tsunade has already reached the level of mastery in controlling the subtle chakra. The reason Tsunade was able to use her demonic power was because her control over chakra had reached its limit. Bring a large amount of chakra within the body to a single point, launch an attack on the enemy, can achieve the effect of creating mountains and crisscrossing lands. Although Naruto has no interest in medical ninjutsu, the temptation of the fantasy fist is quite great. A casual punch can destroy a dense wall. Possessing this kind of ability is truly too cruel. As for the second selection content, Can Kakashi use 1,000-year kill to obtain the Mera Mera no Mi reward? Hey. System, are you playing for real or fake? Didn't they say that the reward items are all Ninja World? Naruto heard this reward. His heart was a little excited. Holding the Mera Mera no Mi later, it's like being able to control fire infinitely. There's no need to form any seals at all. Just a wave of the hand can bring up a sea of fire that can shake the heavens and earth, so it's not too simple, right? What Madara Uchiha Great Fire Extermination does not have Mera Mera no Mi 5 has one advantage. The system is so good at changing. If you don't accept it, come bite me. Naruto. You are awesome. Hearing the system's definite answer, Naruto felt very happy inside. Kakashi-sensei, just accept your fate. He. Thinking of this, Naruto's eyes involuntarily looked towards Kakashi's, but letting out a strange laugh. Just stab it a little, and you can get the Mera Mera no Mi. Take it out, you. Hiding in the distance, little Sakura and Sasuke also noticed Naruto's series of changes in expression. From the beginning, he was stunned, but later on his eyes lit up, and then he stared at Kakashi's butt, revealing a look of infatuation. Little Sakura couldn't help but shiver. That Naruto guy, could it be? He has that kind of preference. Sasuke couldn't help but feel a chill in his heart. That Naruto guy, could it be that he's gay? Looks like I'll have to stay away from him from now on. Kakashi was still completely clueless about the situation. He turned his head to look at Naruto. Seeing the other party just staring at him without any restraint, his face couldn't help but be filled with doubt. Huh?
What?
Naruto, why don't you find a place to hide first like them? Naruto chuckled and then laughed again. Kakashi-sensei, no need to dodge. Now let us have a decisive match. Multiple shadow clone technique. The seal formation was completed, and one after another shadow clones continuously rushed out. 1,000 Naruto shadow clones surrounded Kakashi inside and out, tightly packed. Little Sakura opened her mouth wide, her chin almost dislocated. How is that possible? This shadow clones number? How could it be so many? Sasuke's face was filled with shock. A trace of jealousy vaguely appeared in his eyes. Naruto, this guy, what level has your strength reached? Kakashi's lazy eyelids finally opened completely. He took back the copy of Ica Paradise in his hand and put it back in the bag at his side. This number of shadow clones is really enough to make people shocked. Although the third Hokage old man had said it before, Naruto's strength had grown to a very perverted level. But now that Kakashi saw this number of shadow clones with his own eyes, he still felt extremely shocked. Each shadow clone will split the same amount of chakra into its own body. Normally, ninja can be divided into 3 to 5 people at most. Each must estimate whether their own chakra is enough. If the shadow clone exhausts all of its chakra, then the main body will also be in danger of death due to excessive chakra consumption. Kakashi-sensei, then next, let's have a decisive match. Naruto's shadow clone group let out a burst of laughter. Next, 1,000 people simultaneously took out their kunai and charged straight towards Kakashi.
Break.
Kakashi under Naruto's shadow clones surrounded him, continuously dodging and dancing. The punches and kicks in the middle all surrounded the shadow clones, turning each one into a white smoke that dissipated into thin air. But a 1,000 level shadow clone is not something Kakashi can deal with so easily. Although every time he attacked and dodged, he looked carefree and elegant. But if it is a long time, he also knows it feels like a waste of energy. Not far away in the woods, Sasuke was hiding on a large tree, observing the battle below. Let this Naruto guy go and drain Kakashi's stamina. I'll wait a while and then go over there and rob the spirit. Sasuke was determined to find the right opportunity to launch a sneak attack on Kakashi. Naruto's shadow clones number is very large. But Sasuke also saw that just with the advantage of numbers, Naruto was afraid that he would not be able to complete the spirit robbery. Sasuke, wanting to sit back and collect profits like this, I'm afraid it's not very good. Naruto's voice rang out. Sasuke's face was slightly frightened. He quickly followed the direction of the sound and looked down, only to see Naruto, not knowing when, had reached the bottom of the big tree he was hiding under, several times shaking and jumping, standing next to him. You? When exactly? Naruto shook his head. Sasuke, now is not the time to discuss these things. You definitely still don't know the real purpose of this soul-snatching test. Then, Naruto told Sasuke roughly what he knew. It is also this time the assessment content, the spirit robbery, is just a disguise. The real purpose, but actually, is to let the three people understand the true meaning of solidarity and cooperation between teammates. In other words, as long as the three of them join hands and launch an attack on Kakashi, they will be able to pass this assessment mission. Another side also has a Naruto shadow clone hiding at the bottom of the forest towards Little Sakura, clearly stating the assessment mission content. Of course, Naruto didn't explain it so straightforwardly to the two of them. Just say that I roughly guessed it, it's like that kind of idea. With Sasuke and Sakura's intelligence, as long as Naruto simply mentioned it, they would immediately understand the intention behind it. Anyway, before at ninja school when going to school, Irika also often said that ninja missions are always carried out in teams of 3. Moreover, choosing a team of 3 people, each with their own strengths, can bring about complementary effects. This kind of spirit-stealing situation is just a disguise that Kakashi has used to change it to a real combat situation. Sasuke nodded slightly. So this is what it is, a team battle? Little Sakura also suddenly understood. I understand, Naruto. Then I wish us a happy cooperation. Naruto told the two of them the meeting place and discussed a few tactics to sneak attack Kakashi. Next, the two Naruto shadow clones automatically made contact and with a thud, turned into white mist and disappeared. The woods outside. Beside the small river, Kakashi's dashing figure kept going back and forth between the shadow clone. Every time he punched or kicked, he could defeat a shadow clone. At this time, all 1,000 Naruto shadow clones were defeated in Kakashi's physical technique duel, leaving only a few people left.
Break.
Kakashi kicked the 3 Narutos to the ground again. The shadow clones group could not withstand the heavy blow, and the entire group exploded, dispersing a white mist. Ho Ninja fights one of the 3 great systems, physical technique. Naruto, although you can create this number of shadow clones because your own physical training is not strong enough, the strength of the shadow clones is also weak. Kakashi, who had been completely defeated by the shadow clone, began to breathe a sigh of relief. But he still put on a handsome posture, looking over at the last Naruto, who began to lecture. Why is this possible? Is this the true strength of a Jinchuriki? Naruto's eyes revealed fear. He involuntarily took 2 steps back, turned around, and wanted to run towards the forest behind him. Kakashi's mouth corners revealed an evil smile.
Wow.
Body flicker technique activated. Kakashi shook his body a few times and reached behind Naruto. He sat down with his knees slightly bent, clasped his hands together in front of his chest, and stretched out his index and middle fingers, thrusting straight towards Naruto's butt. The ultimate meaning of the strongest physical technique. 1,000-year kill. Naruto's whole body trembled, only feeling his chrysanthemum tighten. Kakashi's smile grew even more evil, his 2 hands pushing forward with force. Retired. Naruto's body flew through the air, forming an arc, falling towards the ground outside the forest. But Naruto's body had just fallen to the ground when a white mist exploded with a bang. Huh? This is also a shadow clone? Kakashi's smile stiffened, sensing something was wrong. Then, the corner of his eyes glanced at the ground behind him. There were several kunai with Hiraition marks, stabbed straight into the ground.
Wow.
Flying Thunder God technique activated. An orange figure flashed and appeared behind Kakashi. Kakashi-sensei, thank you for teaching me the taijutsu curriculum. Take this move and I will return it to you in full. The ultimate meaning of the strongest physical technique. 1,000-year kill. Naruto clasped his hands in front of his chest, his index and middle fingers extended outwards, stabbing straight towards Kakashi's butt. What? Kakashi's face was filled with horror. Hiraition instantly launched his speed too fast. He didn't have time to dodge at this moment. Just instinctively moved his butt forward to avoid, hoping his asshole wouldn't be seriously injured. Success.
Puffy.
Fingers and buttocks touched. 2 fingers penetrated to observe inside. But before Naruto could get excited, with a bang, Kakashi's body exploded into a white mist. A tree stump fell to the ground with a clang. But Kakashi's real body disappeared on the spot. Who not bad, almost fell for that Naruto brat scheme, but then again, Hiraition is really a difficult type of ninjutsu. Kakashi breathed a sigh of relief, but before he could slowly regain his strength, a voice rang out from behind the large tree. Hey Kakashi-sensei, I've been waiting for you for a long time. Sakura Haruno's eyes were full of smiles as she waved her hand to greet Kakashi. At the same time, she used her other hand to tightly grasp the kunai and swung a rope down in front of her. Rustle. The rope broke in response, and the mechanism behind the rope was also activated. A large array of dense kunai towards Kakashi's direction whoosh shot straight towards the past. These kids. They really aren't simple. Kakashi's face was shocked. A kunai appeared in his hand, rapidly moving several blades. In order to avoid the kunai shot, he bent his knees slightly and exerted force, then jumped backwards. Waving the kunai in his hand, he danced out a gapless defensive blade light in front of him.
Ding ding.
The sound of dense weapons clashing rang out. Fire release, great fireball technique. Kakashi fell down in the air, finally avoiding the dense kunai fire. But Sasuke didn't know when, from below the forest in the middle of a large tree rushed out, using a fire release, launching an attack towards Kakashi. These kids are really not bad. Kakashi's face was shocked, his body in the air, but also not too flustered. 2 hands' fingers danced rapidly. That hand seal's speed was already fast enough to appear after images. Suiton, Sujin Hiki, water release. Water formation wall. Water release, ninjutsu completed. He stood with one hand in front of him, rumbling water sprayed out from his mouth, condensing into a piece of water wall wave, toward the fireball covering the past. Water and fire collided, emitting a deafening crackling sound, and thick white smoke billowed out.
Soar.
But in just a split second, the fireball could not stop the water wall from plunging down, and was completely extinguished. Kakashi's feet had just landed on the ground when he felt danger coming from behind. Kakashi-sensei. It's inconvenient. I'm the main dish here. Sure enough, Naruto's voice rang out. He took advantage of Hirashin's early prediction of Kakashi's landing position and threw him out early. Hirashin's specially made kunai stuck into the ground. Bang a bit, Naruto suddenly appeared behind Kakashi. He used one hand to grab Kakashi's waist, while the other hand extended 2 fingers outwards, straight into Kakashi's ass. Naruto had already decided that if he could complete 2 types of missions at the aim time, he would say, maybe you can get dual system rewards. What? Kakashi glanced back and forth from the corner of his eyes, looking at Naruto's pair of assholes. Just 1 centimeter. His heart jumped to his neck. He tried his best to twist his butt forward, widening the distance between them. But the upper half of the body displayed its enormous potential. The waist twisted into a strange curve, and a punch was thrown towards Naruto's head. Break. Naruto also felt his face go numb. His whole body was sent flying by a strong blow. Back out. Who's still good? Kakashi let out a sigh as if a burden had been lifted, his heart still filled with fear as he patted his chest. Finally no dignity, old age hard to maintain, was raped by students. Flower. Naruto. Disgusting. Sasuke saw that Naruto was seriously injured. A trace of worry flashed in his eyes. He waved the kunai in his hand and rushed straight towards Kakashi. He continuously greeted Kakashi with his fists and feet, but each time Kakashi casually blocked him. Little Sakura jumped down from the big tree and stood to the side, not knowing what to do. What to do is to go up and fight together with Sasuke. Maybe Kakashi-sensei is really Shang Ninja, eh? Little Sakura is very clear in her heart about how much she weighs. Just now she made that kunai hidden weapon trap in the woods. It was also Inosuke intention. Naruto relied on his shadow clone to stall for time, and finally brought Kakashi back, lured to nearby traps, allowing Kakashi to use the body replacement technique to avoid the millennium. Close. A series of plans are all very perfect. Even so, he still couldn't capture Kakashi. The standard of strength of the shinobi is too high. It is not that easy to deal with. Okay. Stop. Sasuke, Kakashi-sensei, we have completed the mission. Naruto chuckled, and then laughed again, wiping away the dirt on his face. His right hand was slightly raised, the 2 spirit balls in his hand shook slightly, emitting a. When I was little, The sound of dingling echoed. How is Kakashi-sensei? That's great. Little Sakura happily jumped on the spot. Sasuke also turned around and retreated, exiting the battle circle. He looked towards the spirit in Naruto's hand that was returning, his eyes revealing a trace of surprise. Really? That Naruto guy really did it. The kind that can instantly approach an enemy. Ninjutsu. What the hell is it? Sasuke gritted his teeth, feeling a sense of pride in Naruto for being able to possess this strength. A little jealous. Or rather, Sasuke has been training hard all these years, just to be able to quickly increase your strength, to be a good clansman. For your parents to turn to that man. Revenge. But now, he was actually passed by the former bottom student in his class, which made a little doubt appear in his heart. He doubted whether all his efforts these years were worth it. Kakashi's eyes showed surprise, and he muttered to himself. So that's how it is. The 1,000-year kill was just a feint he used to attract all my attention, but in reality, he focused his attention on the spirit above. What a good boy, Minato-sensei. This Naruto guy has your style back then. Kakashi looked up at the sky, sighing in his heart. Actually, Kakashi was really wrong. Naruto didn't think that much at that time. He just thought about completing 2 missions at the same time. Congratulations, host. The spirit robbery is testing the mission content. Host. Completed the first selection mission. Successfully snatched from Kakashi's body. Spirit. Now you are given the following rewards. Obtained Reward 1. Chakra Subtlety Control Mastery. As the System 1 Ollie prompt sound rang out, the simulation interface inside flew out. A group of blue light merged into Naruto's mind. In just a moment, the details of chakra control, as well as how to focus and use attention, all appeared in the brain. It's like this knowledge, Naruto has accumulated and practiced it for many years. Kakashi-sensei, we are robbing the spirit during an assessment mission, so it should be considered as done? Little Sakura saw that everyone here had fallen silent, so she ran. Slowly approached, asking Kakashi a question. Kakashi looked at little Sakura and nodded, saying, that's natural. You guys aren't the only ones. I have completed the test and cooperated very well. Although I don't know how you guys were able to understand the meaning of team combat so quickly, but there is one piece of advice I still want to give you. The person who broke the ninja world rules, we all call him trash. Really, I don't understand. Respected teammates, even trash is not as good. From now on, you 3 are teammates. And you must respect and cherish each other. Kakashi said this sermon, deliberately looking towards Naruto and
Sasuke.
He also discovered that these 2 little guys' thoughts were a bit deep, as if in the heart contains many things. But Sakura Haruno, who is weak in strength, didn't seem to take the 2 people seriously. Story worth telling. Sasuke frowned and muttered in his heart. Precious teammates, if these teammates will hinder my path to revenge, then I will not hesitate to cut them off. Naruto in his heart also did not quite agree with this kind of reasoning, shaking his head and silently saying in his heart, if it was before, I would have believed that this world has light. Would have believed that the friendship between comrades could erase the pain of the past. But now it's not like that. Kakashi-sensei, I was destined to judge Konoha. Naruto's past 10 years of suffering and discrimination were all created by Danzo and the 3rd Hokage. Danzo himself wanted to become Jinchuriki. So, he thought of a way to let his subordinates spread the rumors. It is said that Naruto is a monster fox, but it has never been mentioned that Naruto's father is the 4th Hokage Minato Namikaze. Sarutobi Hiruzen acted weakly, letting Danzo do whatever he wanted, but he didn't interfere. Naruto is a hero's son. He should receive good treatment. Can I see Naruto's life in the past 10 years? Every day, eat expired cow's milk and raw instant noodles to get through the day. Every day going out, I encounter discrimination and insults from the villagers. Why doesn't the 3rd Hokage stand up and clarify all the truth for Naruto? Perhaps the 3rd Hokage's heart was originally dark, and he did not have such a gentle appearance. See what happened in Konoha in recent years. Hyuga Hizashi was made to commit suicide by Kumobikure, and Hatake was attacked by the villagers and committed suicide by public opinion. Also, the entire Uchiha clan was exterminated. There is not a single thing in there that has nothing to do with Sarutobi Hiruzen. He and Danzo, perhaps one in the open and one in the dark, did a bunch of bad things. In order to secure his position, he did not hesitate to use all kinds of methods to kill the ninjas and their clans in the village. Look at the first and second when I was in power, how many strong people did they have under them? But how did we get to the third Hokage? Besides Kakashi and Might Guy, the elite Jinchuriki, what other ninja with extremely powerful abilities can be brought out?
Baba.
Kakashi clapped his hands, drawing everyone's attention back. Okay, Naruto, Sasuke, little Sakura. You three go back and rest today. Gather at the Hokage building's office tomorrow morning. We'll start our ninja mission tomorrow. Little Sakura's face was filled with excitement. Ah, this is so good. I'm finally a ninja. I don't need to be expelled back to school. Oh. Speaking of this, little Sakura quickly covered her mouth, accidentally revealing her true thoughts, causing her cheeks to turn red. The remaining people here were all a bit surprised and looked at little Sakura, all helplessly shaking their heads. Because the soul capture assessment mission ended early, there were also fewer tying up trees and 3 people shared 2 boxes of bento. It was just past 11 in the morning, and Kakashi had already announced his dismissal. Naruto had nothing to do this time. Of course, he went to the self-service bento shop first, bought 2 bento, sat down and started eating. Honestly, the bento feels and tastes very ordinary. But this place was the place Naruto used to often come to eat. What for? Because this place's bento is convenient, and the amount of rice is especially sufficient. Another thing is that this bento place is completely self-service, with no shopkeepers making faces and chasing people away. Therefore, Naruto did not need to go meet those Byakugan villagers. He could also eat a hot mouthful of food outside. Ah, so full. 2 portions of bento entered his stomach. Naruto touched his round belly, letting out a satisfied sigh. There was still an entire afternoon of time, but Naruto didn't waste it. He ran straight to the training ground and began his physical training. Opening the 8 gates requires a strong physical condition, and among the various abilities Naruto currently possesses, the 8 gates release is his most powerful attack method. As long as he can increase his physical strength to the point where he can open 7 gates or more, then Naruto should have no opponents in this ninja world for the time being. Anyway, right now, it's not yet time for the post-production of Gundam to start. Run around the training ground 500 laps, do push-ups 3,000 times, sink down 1,000 times, lead the body upward 1,500 times, and hit wooden stakes for 3 hours. Very quickly, noon practice time just like that passed. When Naruto got home, he felt his legs shaking a little, his whole body showing signs of weakness. And he couldn't even lift his arms. But he still tried to suppress his discomfort, took off his sweat-stained clothes, and washed his face in the bathroom. Now just eat a little dinner and go to sleep. Ding-ling. Early morning on Monday, 5 points, 50 points, the bedside bell rang on time. Naruto opened his eyes filled with pus and stretched his back. After sleeping for 8 hours, under the powerful recovery ability of the Uzumaki bloodline, yesterday's training fatigue was completely wiped away. Furthermore, Naruto could clearly feel that his strength and physique had greatly increased. System, start marking. Naruto ordered in his heart. Marked successfully, you are about to give the reward. Please wait a moment. Congratulations, host. You have obtained the marked reward 1. Ninja Tool Explosion Talisman ×3. Fire Release Ninjutsu. Flame Bullet ×1. Military Rations ×3. The lowly system's voice reminded Naruto, ringing in his mind. There is no particularly powerful reward, but this is also normal. Through these days of observing the system, Naruto discovered a pattern. Each time the system announces a mission, the rewards it gives are more abundant than the marked rewards. Brushing teeth, washing face, and getting up early, Naruto still ran to the usual practice field as usual. Why go anywhere? Because little lowly Hinata is still waiting for me. Why would I miss the only chance to have emotional contact with little lowly every day? Naruto-kun. Early, good morning. Seeing Naruto appear, Hinata still couldn't change her shy personality. Her small face turned red, and she lowered her head, her 2 hands and fingers moving around in circles. Ah, Hinata. Good morning. You seem to come earlier than me every time. Have you had breakfast? Naruto laughed and scratched the back of his head, asking the 2 straight men cancer questions. Even he himself realized that this kind of topic was a bit boring. His face was full of embarrassment. But for Hinata, being able to meet the boy she likes is already very happy, so how can she care about these things? Yes, I just arrived not long ago. I had breakfast. Hinata's small face turned red, tirelessly responding to this kind of nutritional problem. In a moment of embarrassment, Naruto and Hinata began their morning training. Still the same as a few days ago, first warming up, then two people sparring, then hitting wooden stakes. 2 hours passed, time goes to early morning 7:30. Naruto and Hinata said goodbye to each other, and then separated to go to their respective classrooms' agreed location. At the entrance of the office building stairs, Aoba Yamashiro and Raiden Amishi were waiting, one on the left and one behind. The other two were originally ninjas from the same era as Kakashi. But because their own strength was not too outstanding, they were now pretending to be guards for Sarutobi Hiruzen. When they saw Naruto walking from afar on the street, a trace of admiration involuntarily appeared in their eyes. Aoba Yamashiro. Speaking of which, once that Naruto learns Hiraishin, he might be highly regarded by the third Hokage in the future. Raiden Amishi nodded. That's right. Back then when I was the fourth Lord's bodyguard, I was lucky enough to receive his teachings on the Flying Thunder God technique. But it's a pity. Our bodyguard's aptitude is too poor. None of them can learn the Flying Thunder God technique. In the end, the combined strength of the three of them is enough to barely complete a Flying Thunder formation technique. Raiden Amishi, in his mind, vaguely remembered those things that year following Minato. Minato's kindness and his guidance. He still remembers it in his heart. Now, seeing Minato's son also have such achievements, Raiden Amishi is extremely happy in his heart. As expected of the fourth Lord's son, his natural talent is too different from us. When Naruto reached the entrance of the stairs, he noticed that these two people were staring at him, but he couldn't hear what they were saying. Naruto couldn't help but touch his face and asked doubtfully, "What's wrong, two seniors? Is there something dirty on my face?" The two people just now noticed their rudeness, awkwardly scratching the back of their heads and smiling. Aoba Yamashiro. It's nothing, Naruto-kun. Good morning. Raiden Amishi. That. Naruto-kun, Kakashi, and the others just arrived. You hurry up. Naruto nodded slightly. Yes, thank you two seniors. Although he didn't understand why those two people were looking at him strangely, Naruto didn't pay too much attention. Directly followed the two people beside him. Went up the stairs towards the second floor. Let me go see. What are the suitable ninja missions for the 7th Executive Committee? Naruto walked through the long corridor and arrived outside the office. Immediately heard an old man's voice in the room. It was Sarutobi Hiruzen.
Dong dong dong.
Naruto knocked on the door and awkwardly smiled. It's inconvenient, I'm here. Slow? In the room, Kakashi, little Sakura, Sasuke, and the others all looked towards Naruto over here. But before they could even open their mouths to speak, Sarutobi Hiruzen took the lead in the heat. Greeting. It's Naruto. Hurry up and come in. You came at the right time, haha. Naruto nodded slightly, without saying anything more, and walked straight to Sasuke standing beside him. Sarutobi Hiruzen continued to glance at the mission list, muttering. Help the Black Rhino buy 100 kilos of watermelon. Help Mr. Lai weed the vegetable garden. Go to the Eastern Leaf Village in Xiaohe to pick up discarded items. Help. Sarutobi Hiruzen was busy reading those D-rank-type mission lists. The rest of the people also listened quietly, not saying anything more. But little Sakura still pulled Kakashi's arm, raised her head, and asked, Kakashi-sensei, how about ninja carrying out missions? Are these all things? Aren't these all just some farm work? Kakashi shook his head slightly. Of course not, but every ninja executes ninja. Missions are all low level. Missions start to accumulate experience. You can do it yourself. However, there will be no exceptions. Sarutobi Hiruzen had also almost finished reading the mission list, raised his head to look at everyone, and said with a laugh, Naruto. Sasuke, little Sakura, Kakashi is right. Today there is a very special mission, very suitable for you to do. Help the Great Lord's wife find his flower cat, little tiger. Sarutobi Hiruzen made up his mind, and was assigned a mission to the 7th Division to carry out. Not hearing Kakashi and the others' objections, Sarutobi Hiruzen waved his hand. Han said, Kakashi, you take Sasuke and Sakura first to prepare. I have a few words to say. Talk to Naruto a bit. Is that so? I understand. Kakashi was a bit stunned, but quickly reacted, only thinking that a few days ago, when Naruto stole the Sealing Finger book, Sarutobi Hiruzen still wanted to. With Naruto to talk. Sasuke, little Sakura, let's go. Kakashi said, and headed towards the side. Out of the office go to. Nainasuke and Nainakura both said nothing and followed Kakashi behind. Naruto stood there without moving, not even a change in expression on his face. Although I don't know what this old man wants to say, but I'm sure there is nothing wrong. What a good thing. Haha, Naruto, you don't need to be so serious. The third Hokage just wants to have a simple chat with you. Sarutobi Hiruzen took a puff of tobacco, blew out a thick ring of smoke, and said with a smile. Naruto nodded indifferently. Old man. If there's anything, just say it, I'm all ready. Listen. For Sarutobi Hiruzen, Naruto in his mind also had no good impression, making Naruto's childhood pass so tragically. Sarutobi Hiruzen absolutely considered it his first credit. Being called old man, Sarutobi Hiruzen's face did not have any displeasure, he just had a smile on his face.
Naruto a.
You learned about Hiration and 8 Gates Doinja. They all told me. Grandpa is very happy for you. Saying that, Sarutobi Hiruzen stopped the fake smile on his face and looked at Naruto worriedly, asking, That's right, if you have anything missing in your life, just come here and talk about it. With me, I will let someone take you shopping and prepare. Naruto was stunned. What happened? Leaving yourself alone. Just to flatter and please? Never before have I seen this old man care so much about me. But Naruto still pretended to be happy on the surface, wanting to see this. What kind of joke does the old man want to make? Naruto laughed and said, Is that so, old man? Then I won't be polite to you. Sarutobi Hiruzen still maintained that gentle fake smile, nodded and said, Haha.
7.
Naruto, you don't need to be so polite with Grandpa. Also, those villagers hate you so much, it's because they don't have knowledge, they don't understand things. You don't need to argue with them too much. I think you know that event too. After all, Mizuki already said it. The 9 tails is sealed in your body. The villagers actually don't hate you. They hate the one who destroyed 9 Tails village. I have greeted everyone in the village, but later they did not allow it, so I searched for them. You caused trouble. From now on, just follow Kakashi and carry out your missions well. In the future, you can be like Kakashi and become a loyal force in the village. Naruto laughed coldly in his heart. Haha. Now you know to keep the villagers quiet. So why did you go so early? If I hadn't learned Hiration and 8 Gates Doinja, I guess I would still be like before. Basically will not get half of the respect, can only every day face discrimination and bullying to survive day by day. If Naruto hadn't given that handbag to the old boss that morning, those villagers also wouldn't have any fear in their hearts towards Naruto. At this time, you Sarutobi Hiruzen also pretended to be a good person, putting all the credit on yourself. Maybe you are good, as expected of a third Hokage with a gentle face behind his back. Naruto felt more and more disgusted with Sarutobi Hiruzen in his heart. But Naruto also deeply knew that his current strength was not enough to shake Sarutobi Hiruzen even a little. Therefore, Naruto did not show all his emotions on his face, but chose to endure. Naruto replied without changing his expression. Is that so? Then thank you very much, old man. I will continue to work hard to cultivate. After hearing this, Sarutobi Hiruzen nodded slightly in satisfaction. Yes, Naruto, just practice with peace of mind. If there is anything you don't understand, you can ask Kakashi for advice. He is an extremely outstanding ninja in our Konoha. After saying goodbye to Sarutobi Hiruzen, Naruto directly left the Hokage building's office. At the fork in the road, Naruto turned his head to look at the Hokage building's office. A cold smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. Haha, rest assured, old man third Hokage, I will continue to work hard to cultivate, and in the shortest possible time, completely overturn the facade of peace that you have ruled over Konoha. Next estimated to have 1 month's time. Class 7's 3 people under Kakashi's leadership carry out some D-rank missions every day. The mission content is the same as Sarutobi Hiruzen introduced before. Overseeing the vegetable garden, weeding and fertilizing, helping villagers carry children, picking up discarded items in the river, helping the lady catch cats, and hunting dogs. Wait a minute, everything is like that task. Every day repeat, not the same, do it. This type of lowest level mission and really can't see any place can increase ninja mission experience. Besides the teammates becoming more familiar with each other, the biggest benefit is probably to train these children's minds and willpower. Except for the 7th class outside. Class 8, Class 10, These two classes, also under the leadership of Kurina Yuhi and Asuma, carry out these Deering-type missions. Therefore, under this premise, it is still left to Naruto and Hinata to do it together every morning. During these 1 months, Naruto and Hinata's feelings for each other have grown more and more, and have now turned into very close friends of the opposite sex. Both of them understood each other's intentions, but neither of them had the choice to break through that hazy paper window. After all, Naruto and Hinata are still very young at the moment, and this kind of vague feeling makes the two of them feel especially sweet. Another morning comes. Naruto, as usual, went to the familiar training ground and met Hinata. Naruto-kun, here. This is breakfast I made. Hinata's small face turned red with excitement. She held out a bento box with both hands and brought it in front of Naruto. Just half a month ago, Hinata once accidentally had the thought of making Naruto a snack. Through practice later, her culinary skills received a series of 5-star praise from Naruto, plus a rainbow of farts. So, Hinata also changed her magic every day, starting to prepare something different and bring it to Naruto a little earlier. Thank you, Hinata. You are truly an outstanding girl, not only gentle and kind, but also good at cooking. Naruto's face was full of smiles, stretching out his 2 hands in front, as if intentionally or unintentionally confirming the bento, but he firmly grasped Hinata's small hand. Naruto laughed wildly in his heart. Ha 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 ha. The secret book of flirting records the first 81st page, absent-mindedly holding the girl's 2 hands, using deep affection to stare at the other person's eyes, then slowly brought his head closer to the past, robbing the other person of their first kiss.
Naruto-kun.
You? Feeling the back of her hand being covered by 2 large hands, Hinata's body trembled slightly. She raised her head to look at Naruto using that despicable gaze to stare at her. Her face instantly flushed with embarrassment, somewhat at a loss. Ha 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 ha. Hinata, I'm coming. Give me your first kiss. Naruto was so happy inside that he slowly turned his head. The secret book of flirting records the first 76th entry. If the girl does not show any signs of resistance, it means the other party is willing to accept you. The secret book of flirting records the first 77th entry. If a girl shows any sign of resistance, it means the other party is being cautious and shy and can use forced kissing methods.
Ba.
As expected of the Hyuga clan's eldest daughter, she has the leisure to talk about love here early in the morning. The sound of applause rang out. Immediately after, Hyuga Niji appeared from the training ground outside the path, looking at Hinata and Naruto with disdain. Following him, there were 2 other people, often put youth hanging on Rock Lee's mouth. The Hokage inside the ninja tools most people collect Tenten. These 3 people are all graduates of the previous ninja school and are also members of the 3rd class of Konoha 12, Xiaochang. Naruto-kun, we meet again. Rock Lee also had a smile on his face, enthusiastically waving his hand to greet Naruto. Tenten's face was full of surprise. Rock Lee, you actually know that guy? Tenten was still a bit unclear about the situation for a moment. Judging from Niji's mocking tone just now, it seemed like the relationship with the 2 people in front of him was not friendly. Maybe Rock Lee seems to be very familiar with a new person. Rock Lee nodded slightly, raised his hand and raised his thumb. His white teeth flashed with a golden light. That's right. Naruto-kun is like me, a person who loves to practice body technique. His body technique talent is also extremely outstanding. Rock Lee, good morning. Naruto nodded and simply greeted Rock Lee, turning his head to look at Hyuga Niji. That guy's face looked hateful. His eyes were full of contempt. He could really fight with Sasuke with his previous cold and arrogant personality. Nijiji. It's not like what you think. Naruto-kun and I are just cultivating here. It's not like what you said. Hinata quickly withdrew her hand, bowing her head low as if she wanted to explain something. But her personality is kind and weak. Her voice is also very small, revealing a lack of momentum. Hyuga Niji disdainfully glared at Hinata, his voice cold as he said, Miss Hinata, you main family members don't need to explain anything to the branch family members. Please rest assured, I don't have that kind of free time to meddle in other people's business. Reporting to Lord Hayashi about your secret love talk. Speaking of this, Hyuga Niji's mouth revealed a trace of mocking smile. Anyway, you, the eldest daughter of the main family, have long been neglected. Like someone from our branch family, you were expelled to the ninja school to practice. Moreover, your main family's identity as the heir has also been taken away by your younger sister Hanabi. Hinata's head hung lower. Hyuga Niji's words deeply stabbed her heart. When they were very young, Hinata and Niji were considered to be a very good pair of siblings. It wasn't until the year he turned 5 that Niji had the caged bird seal placed on his forehead that he began to receive. Until the first time Niji saw his father, when Hinata's father used a cursed seal to control him, Niji's heart was already buried with a bottomless scar. Niji hated his fate of being born into a branch family, and at the same time, he also hated the people of the main Hyuga family. From then on, Niji no longer had any love for his cousin Hinata. Every time he saw her, he would mock her and say some nasty things. Hinata lost her official family's heir status and had her heir position snatched away by her younger sister, Hyuga Hanabi. This was indeed true. But this is not because Hinata can't beat Hyuga Hanabi. It's just because Hinata's heart is too kind. She can't bear to do something to hurt her sister.
I'm sorry.
Hinata choked out an apology, tears wetting her eye sockets, sliding down her cheeks drop by drop. But at this moment, a warm hand suddenly patted Hinata's shoulder. Hinata, you didn't do anything wrong. There's absolutely no need to say sorry. Hinata was slightly stunned, causing her to raise her head, only to see Naruto with a gentle smile looking at her. His eyes filled with worry. Naruto-kun, thank you. Hinata felt touched inside. At this moment Naruto could stand up to comfort her, making her mood slightly change for the better. Naruto's eyes contained encouragement, and he nodded slightly, then turned to look at Hyuga Niji and said in a low voice, "There are grudges between the main Hyuga family and the branch family. I don't understand much. But some people who are relatives of the Hyuga branch family always like to strangely pour their resentment on a little girl. Really is not a manly act." The meaning of this sentence is very clear. It is Hyuga Niji who is bullying Hinata. Moreover, Naruto's eyes were not shy and he kept staring at Niji. Niji naturally knew who was talking about. What could someone like you know? You already said you don't understand the Hyuga clan's grudges, so what qualifications do you have to pry into me? Hyuga Niji's face was filled with anger, glaring at Naruto with eyes that seemed to be about to spit fire. Naruto snorted and shook his head, saying, "How ridiculous. Do you really think you are the world's first tragic male protagonist? Do you think Hinata really wants to accept this kind of fate? This kind of ancient cursed seal, caged bird seal, is completely unfair to you Hyuga branch family members. Don't you think it's a bit too stupid to blame all this on a little girl? You were able to open your mouth to mock Hinata in front of so many of us today. I can completely imagine how many things you would pick to hurt Hinata when you normally meet with the Hyuga clan's Tenten. Hyuga Niji, you are trash in my eyes now." Consecutive harsh reprimands. Naruto spoke them all without hesitation. The more Hyuga Niji listened, the uglier his expression became. He was so angry that his body was trembling, as if he was about to go crazy at any moment. "I don't know how much you, a new graduate, know about the Hyuga clan, but since you dare to say such an insulting thing to me today, I will definitely make you pay a heavy price for your efforts." Niji, wait a minute. Tenten saw that the situation was a bit wrong and wanted to take action to stop Niji. But Tenten was still a step too late. Her claws grabbed Niji's shirt corner, and he quickly rushed out. Rock Lee stopped in front of Tenten and advised, "Tenten, rest assured, this battle is between men. Although I don't understand the Hyuga family's grudges. What the two of them said makes sense. Let them handle this themselves." Tenten was still a bit worried. But Rock Lee, on the other side, in order not to accidentally injure Hinata, Naruto did not retreat at all and flew straight towards Hyuga Niji. Break, 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 break. The sound of fists and feet colliding rang out continuously. Hyuga Niji continuously used the gentle fist acupressure, wanting to use the Hyuga clan's unique method to subdue Naruto, but Naruto easily discovered his moves and helped him fight back. White Eye. During the fight, Niji opened his Byakugan. Blue veins appeared around the eyelids, extending all the way to the temple. At the same time, Naruto's chakra meridian system also appeared in Naruto's eyes, without missing a single thing. Why could there be someone who holds such enormous chakra energy? Niji was shocked, slightly stunned on the spot.
Break.
But it was this moment of being stunned that Naruto found his weakness and kicked him hard in the chest, sending him flying far away. Crackle. Niji only felt a sharp pain in his chest, followed by a tiny crack sound from his chest bone, and his entire body flew backwards. After these 1 month of training, Naruto's walking strength compared to before can be completely 10 times heavier than before. Just after kicking Neji, Naruto still intentionally held back his strength, not using his full strength to attack. Otherwise, Niji's sternum could only break more seriously. But Naruto's attack, far from stopping, did not stop like that. He reached into the back of his shinobi pouch, took out 2 specially made Hiraishin kunai, and waved his hand towards Neji. Disgusting. Neji was in the air, temporarily unable to use force to dodge. But he still hadn't lost his ability to act. Reacting quickly, he pulled out a kunai and waved it in front of him to block. Clink, clink. The sound of 2 weapons clashing rang out. 2 specially made Hiraishin kunai were chipped open. But before Neji could even let out a breath, Naruto suddenly disappeared on the spot. The golden shadow flashed, and in the next blink of an eye, Naruto's figure appeared beside Neji, along with the specially made Hiraishin kunai. What? How is this possible? Niji's face was filled with fear, his feet barely standing on the ground. Then he felt his eyes darken, his face receiving heavy punches from Naruto. Neji, Tenten, who was outside the battle circle, let out a cry of alarm, her face filled with worry. What kind of trick did that blonde kid just use? Why was he able to suddenly disappear on the spot and instantly arrive at Niji's side? Rock Lee did not answer immediately. He frowned and recalled the battle between the 2 of them just now. In his heart, he compared his own strength with the 2 of them. A few days ago, I heard teacher guys say that in the new ninja school graduation class in Konoha, a rare genius has emerged. It only took him less than half a day to learn the 3 forbidden techniques on the scroll sealing technique. Rock Lee said in a low voice. Tenten's face showed doubt. Rock Lee, what are you talking about? Are you saying that guy who learned 3 types of forbidden techniques is that blonde little devil? Rock Lee nodded slightly. Yes. From Naruto-kun's battle with Neji just now, that genius who learned 3 types of forbidden techniques must be Naruto-kun. Moreover, the method he just used to instantly disappear must be the Flying Thunder God technique. What? Hiraishin? Tenten's eyes widened, her chin almost sticking up to her ears in surprise. This kind of method of Flying Thunder God technique, she had heard Might Guy boast about it very long ago. This is the 4th Hokage Minato Namake's famous technique. Since the 4th Hokage passed away, no one has been able to master this ninjutsu. I didn't think that now someone would learn this technique. Tenten. Oh my god, Neji is teasing that guy. What kind of monster is he? Rock Lee. To be honest, this is the 2nd time I met Naruto-kun. I really didn't think he was such an outstanding ninja. While the 2 were talking, Naruto was already riding on Neji's body, his 2 hands clenched into fists, and he unceremoniously punched Neji in the face one punch after another. Break, break. You have probably always been called a genius by people always arrogant, thinking yourself to be the only one in the Hyuga clan. Break, break. You may think you are the most tragic person in this world, but I want to tell you, everyone has their own difficult life. Break, break. Hinata was born in a legitimate family. She also doesn't want to be bound by this kind of fate. She also doesn't want her forehead to be imprinted with a caged bird seal. You know. Break, break. Hyuga Niji's entire face was completely swollen. Blood was continuously flowing out of his nose. He was beaten and had no strength to fight back at all.
Wow.
A green figure appeared from afar and grabbed Naruto's wrist. Young man, if there's anything we can discuss, let's sit down and discuss it. There's no need to get so angry. Might Guy had a calm smile on his face, looked at Naruto and spoke in a low voice. Naruto-kun, forget it, I don't blame Niji-ji. He actually didn't have it easy either. Hinata also ran slowly to go forward, to advise Naruto. In the past, Niji's father was forced to commit suicide by the Cloud Ninja to save her. From the self-reproachful expression on Hinata's face, it could be seen that she was also blaming herself for this matter. That's why she just let Neji do whatever he wanted to her and had absolutely no intention of resisting. Alright then. I'll take my hand back. This uncle. Please let me go. Naruto responded, turning his head to look at Might Guy and said, What? Uncle? You're calling me uncle? Might Guy's face instantly turned pale, tears streaming down his face, his limbs waving. He pointed at his nose and kept gesturing, as if he didn't want to admit this fact. Naruto revealed a harmless smile, looked at Might Guy and said, Could it be that there are other uncles here? What? Bastard. Might Guy's spirit was seriously injured, his eyes rolled back, and he fell to the ground. Teacher Guy, are you okay? Rock Lee saw his teacher fall to the ground, his heart filled with concern. He immediately approached, examining Might Guy's situation. Naruto glanced at the people here, not paying any attention to them anymore, boldly took Hinata's little hand, and walked towards the training ground outside. Let's go, Hinata. We don't have much time left to gather, hurry up. The first time Naruto held her little hand, Hinata felt extremely shy. This made her just now depressed mood instantly melt away a lot. Ning. Practice on the field. Rock Lee saw that Might Guy still showed no signs of wanting to awaken and recover. His eyes wandered around, and an idea came to mind. Tenten. Last time Teacher Guy seemed to have taught us CPR, right? When someone is in a coma, you can compress his chest 3 times, then hold his nose, aim at his mouth, and blow air. Rock Lee turned his head to look at Tenten and pleaded, Tenten, can you come help Teacher Guy perform CPR? I'm afraid if this continues, something will happen to Teacher Guy. Tenten's eyes were filled with fear, her face filled with resistance. She continuously waved her hands and said, No, no, no. Why didn't you give Teacher Guy artificial respiration? Rock Lee heard this. His face unconsciously turned red. Search the area. I can also give Teacher Guy CPR. Thinking of this, Rock Lee put his hands together, making Might Guy's heart pound 3 times. Then, he grabbed Might Guy's nose with one hand, pushed Might Guy's mouth open with the other, leaned down and slowly lowered his head, preparing to kiss him. This kind of behavior, but still doing Tenten and Niji, 2 people in the battle, giving excitement, cannot help but shiver. Tenten covered her mouth in fear. Oh my god. Is this a performance of master-disciple kissing? Niji didn't care about his injuries. He used both hands to support his body and retreated, just wanting to stay away from those 2 timid green-skinned people. Lee, what do you want to do? Might Guy, who had just woken up from his coma, opened his eyes and saw the disgusting image of Rock Lee slowly leaning towards him, pursing his lips. His body instinctively went crazy in an instant, and he punched Rock Lee flying more than 3 meters high. No bad thoughts towards the teacher allowed. Might Guy roared loudly, jumped up from the ground with a thud. His eyes burning with raging flames, he turned his head left and right, constantly looking around, searching for Naruto's figure. Where is that blonde little devil? Where did the others go? My blue beast Might Guy's youth is far from over. That brat must change. Can't let my uncle. Rock Lee fell to the ground with a puff and stretched out his hand towards Might Guy. Teacher Guy, your youth will never end. In my eyes, you will forever be my most beloved teacher. Tenten only felt a cold chill. Her body shivered involuntarily. Oh my god. Can our 3rd class have any normal people? Hyuga Niji did not pay any attention to that pair of strange teachers and students. He just turned his head and quietly looked in the direction Naruto left. The grudges between the main Hyuga family and the branch family can't be counted on Miss Hinata's head. Maybe I was wrong. Niji muttered to himself. Every punch Naruto made on his face made him feel not only pain, those words also deeply touched his heart. Yes, maybe I was wrong before. Miss Hinata has always been polite and humble towards me since she was young, as if she had never done anything to harm me. If one really wants to blame, one can only blame the person who divided the main family and the branch family of Hyuga, and blame him for creating this perverted curse seal called the Caged Bird Seal. Naruto and Hinata left the training ground together, and after saying goodbye, they headed straight towards the Hokage building's office. Listening to Kakashi's words yesterday, it seems like he is saying that the current class 7th has to face a promotion mission, changing it to a C-level confirmation mission. However, for this kind of thing where the mission difficulty increases, Naruto didn't pay too much attention. Anyway, with Naruto's current strength, let alone C-rank missions, even A-rank missions can be easily completed. After more than a month of continuous physical training, Naruto's physical strength had increased to a terrifying level. Just a few days ago, Naruto had just conducted an experiment. With the current strength of the body, the 8 Gates armor was already able to open up to the 5th door. At the same time, in the 5th open and close situation below, maintain continuous burning steam for about 20 minutes. The body will not appear any uncomfortable situation. In just 2 short months, he was able to increase to this level. Naruto was still very happy in his heart. Open the system panel and take a look. Name: Uzumaki Naruto. Age: 12 years old. 9 Attribute Ninjutsu, Rasengan. Multi-Shadow Clone, Hiraishin, 8 gates release. Body technique. Fire element ninjutsu. Flame bullet. Water element ninjutsu. Water formation wall. Earth element ninjutsu. Heart decapitation. Earth flowing wall. Wind element ninjutsu. Strong wind palm. Lightning element ninjutsu Mew. Backpack system. Army food X12. Starter talisman X15. Fuma shuriken corner. Not too many flashy ninjutsu. But Naruto's overall strength, conservatively calculated. He has reached the special Jinchuriki level. 8 gates Dunjia opens to the 5th gate state. I'm afraid even many Shangnin will. Cannot be arbitrarily prevented. Combined with Hiration, its power and effectiveness are even greater. More needless to say. When Naruto arrived at the 2nd floor of the Hokage building's office, Sakura Haruno and Sasuke had already arrived. At this moment, Sarutobi Hiruzen was still burying his head in the office documents on his desk, temporarily not paying attention to the group of people in the room. Kakashi that loves late comer today, once again become lazy, now still not. Ever been to. However, come close to the window seat on the sofa. Sit down again to let people have a little. Familiar old man. Or rather, this old man seemed quite familiar to Naruto, even though it was the first time he met him. Full face silver white beard. Behind neck hangs a wide-brimmed hat, holding in hand a bottle of white wine, occasionally taking a sip from the mouth of the bottle. This person is the 7th class's first time going to the village to carry out the mission of the master, Song Chi. The country repaired the bridge of the great master, Tizana. Huh? What happened? Continue my mission. These guys' hair hasn't grown yet. Dear? Seemingly also noticing that someone was looking at her, Tizana drunkenly tilted her head back, using that slightly disdainful gaze to scan Naruto's eyes and then give him a look. Little Sakura's forehead immediately bulged with blue veins. The second violent personality within her body was activated, waving fists in heart shouting. What are you joking about, this damn drunk old man? How can he not wake up while looking at this? Where are the people? Our 7th grade class people are all very excellent, okay? But on the surface, little Sakura still didn't dare to say that to Tizana. After all, the other party was really the mission's old master. Little Sakura's face revealed an embarrassed smile, squinting her eyes and saying, Haha, this old man. You can't look down on us. Ninja's strength is really very strong. Tizana was a bit stunned. After a while he regained his composure. He took a gulp of white wine. Is that so? I really didn't see that you guys had much ability. You're just a bunch of little brats. Naruto smiled indifferently, obviously not taking this old man's words too seriously. In heart, if I remember correctly, this mission might be exceptionally dangerous. Tizana, because he couldn't pay the huge rent quest, intentionally reported the wrong quest difficulty level. But this old man's words were not pleasant to hear. In his mind, he probably wanted to provoke Sarutobi Hiruzen and arrange for him to be protected by a more outstanding ninja. But when little Sakura heard that, her expression turned extremely ugly. Even Sasuke couldn't help but frown, his fur almost standing on end. But before the two could react, Kakashi jumped in from the 2nd floor window. He closed his eyes and smiled as he greeted Jongren. Hey! 9 Aratobi Hiruzen then put down the document in his hand, raised his head and said with a smile, Kakashi is here too, what a good time. Saying that, Sarutobi Hiruzen turned his gaze towards Tizana and laughed heartily, saying, Mr. Tizana, please rest assured, we Konoha ninja all go through heavy selection and practice. Each one is an excellent candidate. Don't look at these kids' young age. But carrying out this kind of escort mission is completely without any problem. Tizana raised her eyelids and took another gulp of white wine from her mouth, searching the area. That's best. Although the words were said like that, but this old man's appearance, but still let people feel he is very shameless. Little Sakura and Sasuke were still a bit uncomfortable, muttering angrily. Angry. But after Kakashi pressed them down, they began to be forced to listen to Sarutobi Hiruzen speak to the detailed content of the mission. Sarutobi Hiruzen looked at the mission scroll in his hand and read, this time, the 7th class. The task is a C-rank mission. Escort Mr. Tizana back to Songchi country.
Ding.
Launch the original scenario mission. Escort Tizana safely back to the country of waves. Note, this mission is originally a C-class mission. The actual hidden level is A-class. Please host make the following selections, can get corresponding mission part. J. Reward. Choice 1. Follow the original script and safely escort Tizana back. Wave Country, defeat Zabuza and Haku, defeat Gatu Gangster Team. Can obtain reward 1. Fire release, great fireball technique. Option 2. Change the original script direction. Safely escort Tizana back to the Land of Waves. Use magic to make Zabuza and Haku understand the bond between each other. Do not let the two die. Make up for the regret in the original. Can obtain reward 1. Wind Attribute Chakra Awakening. Sarutobi Hiruzen behind the desk talked endlessly about the mission's content. But Naruto was completely in no mood to listen. His whole heart was focused on the system Loli's words in his head. The first choice, following the original script, can get a fireball technique. What the hell is this? Fireballs are not something Naruto likes to play with at all. That's Air Juzi's exclusive right. As for the second option, use a persuasion technique to make Zabuza and Haku understand the bond between them and not let the two of them die. Oi Hesha, what the hell are you doing? Talking about this kind of thing, I have no idea. Cannot understand Naruto was frustrated and vented his anger towards the system. Naruto helplessly shook his head. Fine, you better not say it. Just as Naruto was stunned for a moment, Sarutobi Hiruzen had already completed the mission introduction. Even though Naruto didn't hear what Sarutobi Hiruzen said, he knew the general content. Simply want to guard against the surrounding bandits and bandits, really bring Tizana safely to the Wave Country's similar words. In fact, Sarutobi Hiruzen's advice still has some truth. The land of the Fire Nation is fertile, and large areas are still mysterious mountains and forests. There is a bandit nest on the mountain. This is not a normal thing. However, those bandits also did not dare to attack after seeing the ninja. Convenient to tease. Ninjas deal with muscular men like them, taking on 100 at a time. That's also easy. Story. Sarutobi Hiruzen waved his hand. Good. You all go back and get ready to go. Kakashi nodded slightly and said to the 3 people from Class 7. You 3 go back and pack your luggage. 1 hour later, gather at Konoha main gate. Little Sakura nodded in agreement. Yes, Kakashi-sensei. I know. Sasuke didn't say anything more. Wait a moment, everyone. Naruto waved his hand. And with a bang, his body turned into a bolt of lightning, disappearing on the spot. Meanwhile, several people inside the Hokage office saw this scene clearly. The remaining people of the 7th class were no longer surprised. Every time Naruto disbanded before, he would directly activate Hiraishin and disappear. But Tizana's pair of murky old eyes couldn't help but brighten slightly. Ah, that little devil looks quite strong. He really has some ninja-like appearance. Of course, Tizana also did not understand what move Naruto was using. However, this kind of ninjutsu that disappeared in the blink of an eye made Tizana feel his eyes shining. And he couldn't help but praise him. Sarutobi Hiruzen laughed heartily and said, Mr. Tizana, please follow the group to the main gate of Konoha. Rest assured, those people from Class 7 are the strongest ninja among the new graduates of our Konoha village. Sasuke heard this. His steps were a little stiff as he walked to the door. He couldn't help but frown. You guys in Class 7 are the strongest new class ninjas? In your heart, I'm afraid that guy Naruto is. Through this more than a month of contact, Sasuke also had a deeper understanding of Naruto's strength. He had once secretly followed Naruto, observing Naruto's cultivation methods. That kind of almost devilish training made Sasuke feel extremely surprised. Although he admits that he practices asceticism every day, but like Naruto, almost abusing yourself method and comparison, really not worth it. Remind me. Furthermore, that time Sasuke happened to witness with his own eyes Naruto opening the 5th gate of 8 gates release. That kind of explosive force and speed. The scene of a punch causing a huge hole in the tree, Sasuke's memory is still fresh until now. It was only then that Sasuke realized the distance between him and Naruto. Also just realized that his previous arrogance in front of Naruto could not be treated at all. Naruto, you just wait and see. I will definitely not lose to you, as a man of revenge. Absolutely. No one is allowed to run in front of me. Another side. Naruto used Hiraishin to leave the Hokage building's office, and did not immediately return to his home, but appeared in a somewhat empty patch of woods in the middle. And this area is the 8th class assembly location. Naruto also planted the Hiraishin mark on Hinata's body early on.
So,
suddenly appearing beside Hinata, like this, was the first time Naruto did so. Naruto-kun, how come you're here at this hour? Hinata's small face turned red. She turned her head to look at Naruto, but didn't dare to leave. In his position, he lowered his consciousness and looked at Kurenai Yuhi. She was probably afraid that Naruto would disrupt Kurenai Yuhi's lesson plan, which would make Kurenai Yuhi unhappy. Kurenai Yuhi was a little surprised, seeing Hinata looking at her. She didn't say anything, add anything, revealing a gentle smile face. She looked at Naruto and said, "You must be Uzumaki Naruto, right? You've really become famous in Konoha recently." Naruto awkwardly scratched his head. Haha, good teacher Kurenai. You flatter me. At this moment, Kiba Inuzuka and Shino Aburame also reacted. The two of them rushed forward, surrounding Naruto in the middle. Naruto, the technique that appeared in your eyes just now must be flying thunder. Magic, right? Kiba Inuzuka was so excited that he started gesticulating and asking again. That, Naruto. I heard that on the day of graduation, you learned Hiraishin and 8 Gates release. Jayap, is this news true? Naruto, Kiba Inuzuka, Choji Akimichi, Shikamaru Nara for people. Were once real ninja. School truant group of 4. There is nothing to do, always like to jump out the window to escape the classroom, during class time go out to play and fool around. Now knowing Naruto's strength has risen, Kiba feels a bit jealous at the same time. The more than Naruto felt happy. Shino Aburame asked, Naruto, you taught the 3rd class this morning, right? Shino Aburame was also not that agitated, but one could vaguely see that the face under the sunglasses was a little surprised. Naruto was stunned by the question, and subconsciously looked at Hinata. The only person who could know so quickly that Naruto had beaten Neji to a pulp was probably Hinata. I really didn't think that the shy and introverted Hinata would also have a big mouth. Disadvantage. These people used that straight line of gaze to stare at him. Naruto just felt very uncomfortable. Don't look at me like that. I have learned those 2 techniques, but this is not worth you being so surprised. What? Just a casual sentence. But still Kiba Inuzuka and Shino Aburame let out a cry of surprise. Even Kurenai Yuhi couldn't help but show a face full of surprise. The difficulty level of Hiraishin goes without saying, really. As far as I know, Mr. Guy's 8 Gates Duinjia also needs to cultivate a strong physique to be able to use a single type of physical technique. Could it be that this little guy called Naruto is really a genius? Naruto was not about to say anything more. He raised his head and asked Kurenai Yuhi, Kurenai, teacher. I came here specifically to find Hinata. I have a few words to say to her. I might be delaying you guys some time? Kurenai Yuhi then came back to her senses in surprise looking for Hinata. No problem. Thank you, Kurenai-sensei. Naruto nodded and said thanks, pulled Hinata's little hand, and headed to the side. Big tree direction to go. Naruto-kun, why did you come to me at this time? Hinata's small face turned red. She bowed her head and asked. Right in front of her teammates, she was just like that, pulled over by Naruto, making her feel very embarrassed inside. Until he left the 8th class's line of sight, Naruto then let go of Hinata's small hand, turned his head, and said, Hinata, I want to go to the village to start carrying out a mission. I'll leave in a moment. I came to tell you that I won't be able to train with you tomorrow morning. This appearance. Hinata was slightly stunned. A trace of disappointment involuntarily flashed in her eyes. Although that disappointment was only fleeting, it was still caught by Naruto's sensitive senses. Naruto gently patted Hinata's shoulder. Hinata, don't be unhappy. I believe we will meet again soon, and I've been thinking about you these days. Suddenly appeared my words. Make Hinata's face turn red. Although Tenten had met the two before, Naruto had never spoken so directly. Hinata's fingers circled around, and the sound was like a mosquito's soft, Naruto-kun, I also thought of you. Looking at Hinata's shy appearance, Naruto couldn't help but laugh for a while.
Smile, silly.
Little Loli is too shy. Must be guided step by step. Hinata. This morning I helped you teach Hyuga. Is it really for you? Where is the reward? Naruto said, using his finger to point at his face, turning his head forward. Access to the past. Naruto-kun, you want to. Hinata's face was straight from Kurenai to her neck, looking at Naruto's evil smile. Exposed, but how can one not know the other party's intentions? She kept encouraging herself in her heart, and after a few seconds, she finally got it. Courage at Naruto's side on the light.
Take a sip.
Immediately, without waiting for Naruto to react. She turned around and quickly fled the scene. Hinata, what's wrong with you? Why are you blushing like a shrimp? Kiba Inuzuka asked with a face full of doubt. Kurina Yuhi saw Hinata's reaction, then turned her head to look in the direction of Naruto's forest, unable to help but reveal a trace of a smile at the corner of her mouth. Haha, I really didn't think these two little guys would grow up so early. Another side. Hinata rewarded Naruto with a kiss, and after being infatuated for a long time, he was finally satisfied. Build up.
Boss sound.
Flying Thunder God technique activated. Naruto arrived home. Actually, packing his luggage at home, Naruto could completely skip it. Because he didn't know when he would show up to escape, Naruto was already there. I have a storage system inside, fully prepared with clothes and supplies.
Daily.
However, in order to avoid arousing Kakashi and the others' suspicion, Naruto still took out his two shoulders. My bag. Symbolizing the direction in the bag, filled with a few items of laundry and regular clothes. Item day. Then he went downstairs to buy some dry food. Then activated Hiration again and ran to Konoha's main gate to gather. It's Naruto. He wants to go out on a mission today. At the main door next to the security guard in the pavilion, Kotetsu again waved his hand to greet Naruto. Kamizuki Izumo also had a smiling face. His whole face was filled with kindness. Naruto nodded slightly. That's right, the two seniors are on duty. After politely starting a conversation, Naruto did not continue chatting with the two of them and directly walked out the main door. Since the day he graduated from the exam, Naruto learned Hiration and 8 Gates release. After the story spread within the ninja circle, everyone's attitude towards Naruto all had a big 180-degree turn. Of course, those ninja whose parents were buried in the Nine Tails chaos looked. Seeing Naruto at that time, he would still be like those villagers' eyes full of hatred and
disgusting.
However, Naruto did not care too much about these, and within a year, he would betray and escape. As expected, this traitor's escape timing would probably be during the Chunin exams. Konoha, main gate outside. Tazana leaned alone against a large tree, leisurely pouring white wine into his mouth sip by sip. The remaining 3 people from the 7th class have not yet arrived. It seems that Hiration, this ninjutsu, used for traveling, has a very big advantage. No wonder there were often some netizens who commented on Minato Namikaze before. A courier avoid the title. Hiccup, you little brat came here, you guys are really slow. Tazana opened her eyes and glanced at Naruto. Old man, I think you should drink less. Don't get drunk on the road. We will also not responsible for helping you pick up the body. Naruto probably had no intention of pampering this old man. He always opened his mouth. Immediately changed people. Really makes people feel uncomfortable. How to remember, just like the original work, that old man who repaired the bridge was not so unlikable. You little turtle really has a foul mouth. I like it, it's a bit interesting.
Tazana. Rauga.
Naruto stood to the side with his arms crossed, not ready to accept the old man's words. Just wondering in my head, how should I use the speaking technique to convince Zabuza? With Haku, let the two of them understand the bond between each other. Naruto, you came so early today. A few minutes later, little Sakura and Nainasuke appeared together at the main door. Little Sakura's face was slightly surprised. She didn't expect that Naruto, who loved Kakashi as much as he did to be late, would be the first to arrive at the mission meeting point today. Sasuke also said nothing, bowed his head low, as if he had something on his mind. Naruto nodded slightly. I'm faster than you guys, and this is my first time out. Village to carry out the mission, how can he be a little more active, eh? Little Sakura scanned the dense forest outside Konoha, spreading her arms with an expression of enjoyment. That's right, the first time leaving Konoha, it really makes one look forward to it a bit. Kakashi here also did not know from that corner of the street to push out, appeared at the main door. Everyone is very punctual. Little Sakura opened her Byakugan. Kakashi-sensei. It seems you are also punctual. Today you are finally not late. Naruto smiled. I feel that he still has his limits when it comes to important matters. Kakashi helplessly spread his arms. It seems like you all think I'm late for something very important. No big deal. Rest assured, we will continue to maintain it in the future. What little Sakura's forehead veins popped out. The second personality had already opened up in her heart, wishing she could rush up and beat Kakashi to a halt. At Kakashi's one-word go, command, the 7th class brought Tizana began to follow the vast muddy road, slowly heading towards the direction of the land of waves. Now, it is almost the beginning of winter season. Maybe both sides of the road trees, but still the same. Lush green. Logically speaking, this violates the laws of nature. In the fall, the leaves will gradually wither and die, and eventually rot and become one with the soil, transforming into nutrients, so next year add more fertilizer. Kakashi explained, the land of the earth is fertile, and has always been in this ecological condition. Unless there is a particularly severe natural disaster, it will not be affected too much. Hearing Kakashi speak like this, Naruto suddenly wanted to understand a key weakness. Why after Hashirama died, the remaining 5 great nations always liked to cause trouble, always liked to plunder the land of fire's territory. The reason is because the land of the Fire Nation is fertile. Looking at Fong Chi-kwok, long-term sandstorms flooded, places where people can live, places where crops can be grown, are indeed getting less and less. Look at Lei Ji country, long-term abnormal heat, everywhere lack of water drought. This also caused their food harvest to be very little. Whole bunch of skin was sun-blackened. But the Water Kingdom is always covered in fog, and the Earth Kingdom is also full of wild and strange rocks. So their respective ecological environments have huge flaws. In short, only the Fire Nation is the most ideal place to survive. Inside the road, little Sakura and Naruto both appeared quite excited. Little Sakura is because it's her first time going out. She's very curious about new things and feels eager for the outside world. As for Naruto, of course, he had the same feelings as Sakura. The first time leaving the village, this also represents that from this moment on, Naruto no longer has any Umbu personnel monitoring him. At the same time, Naruto can also take the opportunity to plant Hiration marks in various places so that in the future, with just a slight thought, he can escape from Konoha at any time. Kakashi, I have something I want to ask of you. Sasuke, who had been keeping his head down and not saying anything, suddenly appeared behind Kakashi and said something out of the blue. Kakashi was a little stunned, turned his head and asked, "How is it, Sasuke? I see you have not been in a good mood along this road." Little Sakura and Naruto also turned their heads at the same time, looking at him curiously. Little Sakura, Sasuke-kun, you don't look very happy. Is there something on your mind? Sasuke was stared at by so many people. He started to want to say something but couldn't. After enduring for half a day, he still didn't say what he wanted to say. I'll tell you later, Kakashi. Sasuke sighed. Search, Sasuke. If there is anything you need to hide in your heart, we will help you. Kakashi nodded slightly, reaching out to pat Sasuke's shoulder. The small team continued to move forward for about 2 hours. Suddenly, a large puddle appeared on the roadside ahead. Ah! Kakashi was the first to notice something was wrong. It hasn't rained recently, and it's extremely hot, so there's no way such a large puddle could have appeared on the ground for no reason. The only possibility is that there is a ninja using hidden transformation technique, wanting to make a sudden attack. Kakashi subconsciously turned his head to look at his 3 students, wanting to see if any of them saw through the trick. Little Sakura didn't notice anything, still following Sasuke's side, talking to Sasuke from time to time, wanting Sasuke to tell her his thoughts. Sasuke also walked with his head down, not paying attention to the surrounding movements. Only Naruto, who happened to be eye to eye with Kakashi, winked at him. Kakashi also winked at Naruto, meaning don't make a fuss. Let's see what the other party wants to do. Who knew that Naruto would not follow the usual pattern and suddenly quickly run towards a puddle of water on the side of the road. Go until noon, I already need to pee, you guys go first? I want to pee first. Saying that, Naruto immediately wanted to take off his belt. Transformed into a stagnant water chicken ninja in anger. Your mother's urine waves. Are you intentionally trying to play with me? Kakashi's forehead dripped a large drop of cold sweat, and he muttered to himself. This guy is really an unexpected Ano. One ninja. To think of such a harmful way to deal with the enemy. Sasuke and Tizana both looked at Naruto with confused expressions, but didn't say anything more. Little Sakura's forehead veins popped out. Naruto, can you pay attention to your image? There are still girls here. Naruto unzipped his pants with one hand, picked his nose with the other, and turned his head. You are also considered a woman. You. What did you say? Who are you saying is not a woman? Little Sakura's face turned purple with anger. The second violent umbrella had already occupied the main body, immediately wanting to rush forward to give Naruto a strong punch to stop. But Naruto ignored her, unzipped it himself, took out Ding Ding, and prepared to start soaking the fake ninja's 1,000-year-old pupil in urine. Naruto. You bastard. Bastard. I see you really want to die. Two angry voices rang out at the same time. One was little Sakura. She was behind Naruto, raised her hand and waved her fist, wanting Naruto to punch her. Another sound is the transformation into that puddle of water ninja. Just heard a loud bang. The stagnant water exploded into a white mist. Suddenly appeared two people wearing ninja masks on their faces. They waved the sawtooth iron chains in their hands, quickly turned around towards Naruto, who was about to spin him around, and immediately pulled hard on the sawtooth chains in their hands.
Puffy.
Naruto's body was sawed into two pieces, flesh and blood splattered out. Naruto. Little Sakura looked at the bloody scene before her eyes, her pupils rapidly dilated in fear. And she fell to the ground. Solve it. Get rid of this little brat, then think of a way to deal with that old man. The two masked ninjas let out a strange laugh, brandishing the sawtooth iron chains in their hands, and once again threw them towards little Sakura. But the two of them had just released their footwork, and were just cut off by the sawtooth blocking Naruto's path, when with a bang, a white mist exploded. Only saw the two pieces of Naruto cut out. Both turned into two broken pieces of a giant tree stake. The point fell on the ground, emitting a clanging sound. Little Sakura, be careful. Sasuke saw little Sakura in trouble and shouted worriedly. After living together for more than a month, Sasuke also felt little Sakura's concern for him, more or less still a little moved. Just as Sasuke was about to rush out to rescue little Sakura, he felt his arm being grabbed from behind. He turned his head and said suspiciously, Kakashi, what are you doing? Kakashi shook his head slightly. No need to go back, little Sakura is fine. That Naruto guy is here. What? Sasuke didn't understand what he meant, but he just turned his head to look at the battlefield in front of him in doubt. Sure enough, according to Kakashi's words, the originally disappeared Naruto suddenly appeared behind the two masked ninjas, his left and right fists simultaneously opened and swung out. Crackle. Crackle. Two dull sounds of bones breaking. The two masked ninjas' neck and spine were both cracked by Naruto's fierce fist. Almost in an instant, the two of them simultaneously lost their ability to move, and with a thud, they fell to the ground, convulsing for a while before dying miserably on the spot. Sasuke's pupils shrank for a moment, and he secretly grumbled in his heart. This Naruto guy, his strength has recently increased again, and the gap between us is widened again. Kakashi helplessly shook his head. I'm not surprised by this kind of situation, but let Naruto pretend. How come it's a bit redundant to reveal that I'm a teacher? Seeing that the sawtooth chain that was just inches away fall to the ground with a clang, little Sakura was so scared that her soul almost flew away. A moment later, she finally slowly came to her senses, still feeling scared. She patted her chest. Naruto, thank you so much. Naruto shook his head indifferently. No need to thank me. As a ninja, one should always pay attention to the surrounding situation and be prepared to deal with any sudden situations. Speaking, Naruto turned his head to look at Kakashi. A large waterfall suddenly appeared by the roadside, and the weather has never rained recently, so there must be a problem, right, Kakashi-sensei? Ah, you're right. Kakashi agreed without changing his expression. What are you doing? This be you also want to rob the page, want to not let you come to be the teacher. Little Sakura suddenly understood. That's right, it's clearly not raining. It seems I was too careless. How inconvenient, Naruto.
Baba.
A round of applause rang out. Tizana laughed out loud. As expected of a Leaf Village ninja, to be able to defeat the enemy so easily, in order to avoid any surprises, let's quickly continue on our way. Wait a moment, Mr. Tizana. Kakashi was not willing, a bar in front of Tizana. His expression was unusually serious, thinking to himself, this time it was finally my turn to be a hypocrite. You shouldn't explain yourself properly. Those two ninjas clearly came towards you. We have no grudges with these people. The mission you assigned is C rank, which only includes escorting and chasing away bandits. If the mission on the road involves ninja words, then the mission difficulty level will definitely increase to be level or a level. This, Tizana looked troubled, took a big gulp of wine, and pressed it down, still not knowing where the shirkai was released from. If that's the case, Mr. Tizana, I'm very sorry. Because you reported the wrong mission difficulty level relationship, our cooperation can only end here. Kakashi said, waving his hand towards Naruto and the others. Naruto, little Sakura, Sasuke. Let's go. Yoke. Sasuke and Sakura's faces were confused, still a bit unclear about the situation before their eyes. Naruto also did not say anything more, just stood quietly to the side. What happened here is very similar to the original story. Kakashi used soft power to force Tizana to ask for the truth. And Tizana at this moment also finally changed that stuttering attitude, started to sneeze and cry pretending to be pitiful and miserable. Kakashi, everyone, it's my fault. I reported the wrong mission difficulty before. You all go back. Don't let this pitiful old man of mine be killed by those cruel ninja. Little Sakura's holy mother's heart flared up, and she pulled Kakashi's shirt corner. Kakashi-sensei, the old man is really pitiful. Otherwise, let's still listen to what happened and make a conclusion. Sasuke, this matter is far from being as simple as it seems on the surface. I also want to see what will happen next. Sasuke looked at Naruto, a complicated look flashing in his eyes. Sasuke has always been put down by Naruto, and there is a lot of unwillingness in his heart. Sasuke also looked forward to the next time he met a shinobi, when he could unleash his fists and kicks. Kakashi was also a little moved, and nodded in agreement. All right then, Mr. Tizana, please tell us everything from the beginning. There can be no hiding anything, otherwise it might pose a huge threat to our safety. Tizana continued to pretend to wipe away her tears. Good. Thank you all. Actually, this matter still has to depend on the current situation of the wave country to begin to tell. Tizana rambled on for a while, and after about 10 minutes, the 7th class 4 people had a general understanding of the situation. The meaning is still the same as the original. The evil tyrant Gata took over the entire wave country's shipping service industry, using the huge shipping fees to gain huge profits. Tizana could not bear this kind of behavior. So, he gathered many villagers and began to build a great bridge for the Wave Kingdom. But the bridge repair process was repeatedly obstructed and damaged. And even Tizana's son-in-law was murdered by Gata's men. At present, the large bridge is more than half completed, but the remaining half cannot be continued no matter what. Just because that bridge, once completed, will let Gata transport the team on the sea, there is no way to continue to gain advantage. Gata naturally couldn't sit still, sending out quite a few mafia and ninja to launch an attack on Tizana. Tizana was forced to have no choice but to think of such an idea, taking a boat to Konoha, wanting to get help from the ninja. That's how it is. Wave Country is in this situation. This old man feels uncomfortable in his heart. Alas, I also don't have the money to pay you guys for that huge A-level mission. So I had to resort to this last resort. I'm really sorry, everyone. Tizana spread her arms out and began to wipe away her tears again, and he agreed. But the situation of the Wave Country is like this. Also makes people's hearts inevitably give birth to pity. Little Sakura's first saintly heart is affected. That Kakashi-sensei, Mr. Tizana, is too pitiful. Furthermore, he has worked hard all his life for the country of waves, but instead he wants to ruin it because of Gatu's selfishness. Let's help him a little. Is that so? Kakashi nodded without changing his expression, then looked towards Naruto and Sasuke. What do you guys think? Naruto spread his arms indifferently. I don't care, anything is fine. It's just dealing with some bad guys and some useless ninjas. Sasuke gritted his teeth and said more forcefully, I can do it too, but I still hope to continue this mission. Because I also want to experiment to see what level I can reach. Kakashi nodded slightly. Alright then, since everyone has no objections, let's continue to set off towards the land of waves.
Ah.
Long live Kakashi-sensei. Little Sakura jumped happily. Is that so? Thank you. Tizana wiped the cold sweat from her forehead. Fortunately, this round of sales finally paid off. Next, the 7th class of 4 people brought up Tizana and began to slowly continue their journey. Kakashi walked at the back of the group, couldn't help but frown and turn his head to look at Sasuke, secretly muttering, it seems that this kid Sasuke has been stimulated by Naruto to have some doubts about himself. It's time to find an opportunity to accurately guide him, otherwise I'm afraid. The territory of the Fire Nation is very vast. The route to the 7th class required crossing more than half of the Fire Nation's region, then taking a boat to reach the small island nation of Wave Nation. 4 days later, a group of people cooperated with Tizana and advanced at turtle speed, finally leaving the Fire Nation's territory, boarding ships and starting to move forward. I don't know why, but the sea here doesn't have very strong waves. The boatman shook his oars, and the small boat slowly moved forward in order. The seawater is clear and clean. The fish moving in the water can all be seen clearly. In addition, the surrounding area slowly began to fill with a light mist, giving people a kind of hazy aesthetic, making people feel physically and mentally comfortable. Wow, this place is so beautiful. It really is a good place. Little Sakura spread her arms, squinted her eyes, and looked like she was enjoying herself. What a nice place. Even Sasuke, who had been thinking heavily, was affected by the beautiful scenery here, and a rare smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. Oh, dear. Naruto sighed helplessly again. It's not that he doesn't like beautiful scenery, but because Naruto knows that he will immediately have to face that Zabuza next. What should I do to convince those two guys? Wind release attribute chakra proficiency. This attraction is still very good.
What?
Naruto, do you have something on your mind too? Kakashi patted Naruto's shoulder and asked doubtfully. Kakashi was momentarily confused. Why did he bring these kids? All of them were a bit strange. Like the heart is holding back such things.
No, nothing.
Naruto shook his head, not planning on sharing his thoughts with Kakashi. The boat started sailing on the sea in the morning, until approaching dusk, finally reaching the Wave Country continent area. Tizana sighed, pointed to the sea and said, "The other side is the one I spent many years of effort on, hoping that the Wave Country would build a large bridge, but unfortunately, with Gato interfering, this large bridge will never be completed." The crowd raised their heads together and looked forward. 100 meters away, a majestic and imposing bridge stood firmly on the sea. But it was a bit of a pity. The central bridge had already broken apart, as if someone had intentionally used explosives to blow it up. According to Tizana's previous words, these things were all done by the evil tyrant Gato. Little Sakura spoke up to comfort him. "Mr. Tizana, don't be so hard on yourself. There will definitely be a solution." Very quickly, the small boat crossed the sea and arrived at a forested area near the shore. After paying the boat fees, the 7th group of people all set foot on the shore, under Tizana's lead. They headed towards the range of the Wave Country's Lord Town. Collect. Suddenly, in the middle of the forest road, there was a cold, shaking sound. Naruto said nothing, took out a kunai, and threw it over there.
What?
Naruto. Kakashi was slightly stunned, not understanding why Naruto showed no signs of making a move. After all, the bushes that were making noise were most likely to have been attacked by wild animals. Nothing, just felt something was wrong. Naruto shook his head and walked towards the other side of the forest. Pushing aside the branches and leaves to examine, it was another rabbit that had just been hit by a kunai, and was now falling to the ground, struggling painfully. Little Sakura couldn't help but open her Byakugan. "Naruto, I see that you've been a bit too sensitive lately. The last time you found those 2 ninjas, wouldn't it also be a lucky coincidence?" Naruto squatted down, grabbed the rabbit's ears, and lifted the rabbit up. "Hee. Who said I was preparing food for tonight? Such a fat rabbit. You don't have to eat it tonight." Although everything around him looked normal, Naruto could clearly remember the original script. This rabbit is Haku controlled through some secret method, used to scout out enemy situations. Now that the rabbit was killed by Naruto, Haku's eye line was no different from not existing. Little Sakura snorted softly. "Who would want your rabbit meat? When it's evening, we'll all go to Mr. Tizana's house. Are you afraid there won't be any food to eat?" Tizana laughed. "Ha! You young people are really interesting. Let's hurry on our way. Maybe we can catch up before dinner and burn this rabbit." Kakashi waved his hand and urged, "Keep going, Naruto." Naruto didn't say anything more. He carried the rabbit on his shoulder with a wooden stick and slowly followed the group behind. After walking for less than 5 minutes, a huge blade suddenly flew out from the front, carrying a roaring sound of wind tearing through the air, spinning towards Tizana's head. "Be careful, Tycoon." Kakashi reacted quickly, grabbing little Sakura beside him, and Tizana quickly retreated, barely dodging the great sword attack. Jingle! Unable to successfully hit the enemy's head with the great saber, the blade deeply pierced into a large tree. Immediately after, A muscular man wearing a mask stood above the hilt of the great saber. Leaf Village, can you please hand that old man over to me? Otherwise you will definitely die here today. Zabuza tilted his head back 10 parts, looked over at the group of people from the 7th class, and slowly said, "You are the demon of the Mist Village who cannot be killed." Kakashi Hataki's face was filled with horror. He obviously didn't realize that he could easily split the year with the opposite side. Little Sakura's eyes revealed doubt. Kakashi-sensei, who is the demon of the Mist Village that is being beheaded? Is he very strong? Sasuke also took out his kunai from his ninjutsu bag, looking very excited. Naya-shi, next is the time for me to take to water like a fish. Saying that, Sasuke eagerly showed himself. He bent down and prepared to launch an attack towards Zabuza. Wait a minute. Kakashi's face was solemn. He shook himself and stopped in front of Sasuke. Sasuke, little Sakura, that guy is not someone you can deal with. That guy is a cold-blooded assassin who once personally murdered countless comrades from the Mist Village and later failed to assassinate the 4th Mizukage of the Mist Village. Only then was he forced to betray and flee from the Mist Village. That guy is truly an S-rank ninja traitor. As he spoke, Kakashi also opened the ninja Hitayate forehead treasure that covered his left eye, revealing the 3-pointed Sharingan within. Little Sakura's face was filled with horror. What S-rank ninja traitor? How could there be such a strong ninja to ambush Mr. Tazana? After hearing this, Sasuke couldn't help but sweat coldly on his forehead and forcefully swallowed a mouthful of saliva. So that's how it is. Luckily Kakashi stopped me. Otherwise, if I had rushed over, I'm afraid I would have been killed by that guy in one move. Zabuza saw Kakashi's series of movements and couldn't help but be slightly stunned. Ah, so it turns out that Sharingan copied Ninja Kakashi? I really didn't think I'd see you here. Kakashi took out his kunai, his expression unusually solemn. Zabuza, I have heard of your name for a long time, but it is a pity. Today we will not abandon the mission, handing over Mr.
Tazana to you.
Sasuke only now noticed Kakashi's left eye and couldn't help but look shocked. What's going on? Why does this guy have the Uchiha clan Sharingan? Could it be that he's also an Uchiha clansman? Kakashi, if that's the case, I can only resort to coercive means. Zabuza let out a strange laugh. Then he waved his fingers and began forming the hand seals of the ninjutsu, the mist concealment technique. Zabuza had just finished speaking, and the ninjutsu had not yet been fully activated when he suddenly saw Naruto swing out 2 kunai and fly towards him. Want to use this kind of method to interrupt my ninjutsu? Useless. Zabuza confidently laughed, dodged his position, and ran to the other side of the blade, dodging the kunai shot. But his smile quickly froze. Naruto's figure suddenly disappeared from the spot. Then, in the blink of an eye, he appeared beside him. A simple and natural punch powerfully hit Zabuza beside him on the face. Zabuza's entire face showed a strange distortion. Before he could react, his body flew out like a cannonball. What? The remaining people on the battlefield all saw this scene clearly, and almost their eyes widened in shock. Little Sakura, Kakashi-sensei, this is the S-rank ninja you're talking about who betrayed? No matter how you look at his strength, it doesn't seem like there's anything special. Tazana, that's right. That Naruto brat was sent flying with a light punch, and that kind of visual impact, it's really extraordinary. Sasuke, disgusting. That Naruto guy, I actually fell behind him so much without realizing it. Kakashi awkwardly scratched his head. Haha, maybe I really overestimated my opponent's strength. After saying this, Kakashi's expression instantly turned solemn. He secretly said in his heart, actually, I must have underestimated Naruto's strength. I really didn't expect that in just over a month, Naruto would have increased to this level. According to the situation just now, Naruto has at least reached the level of a shinobi. This kind of natural talent has truly surpassed that of Teacher Minato. Moreover, that seemingly normal attack method just now is actually the same as the monster power of one of the Sannin.
Tsunade-sama?
Kakashi is still a professional gangster after all. His eyes are very experienced. Just from Naruto's attack, I could roughly guess what method Naruto used. Moreover, Kakashi was also worried at the same time. Sasuke had always considered Naruto as his target, but because Naruto's strength increased too quickly, he became unwilling to progress, slowly going towards extremes. Another side, Zabuza was sent flying by a punch, his body flying back more than 10 meters, until the back of a large tree strongly hit a small hole. Only then, with difficulty, stabilized the body. A mouthful of fresh blood spurted out from his mouth. Zabuza tried to suppress the pain that was spreading throughout his body, raising his head and glaring fiercely at Naruto. Disgusting. Where the hell did this brat come from? Naruto probably had no intention of wasting time. He charged towards Zabuza with his head down, while his hands were quickly forming seals. Multiple shadow clone technique. Shadow clone seal completed. 200 Naruto shadow clone. Rushed out. What? This number of shadow clones? Zabuza's face was filled with fear. He originally wanted to use the mist concealment technique as an eyesore to avoid Kakashi Sharingan's detection. And then think of a way to deal with Tizana. Maybe this blonde little devil came out of nowhere and punched him away. Again, when did Konoha produce such a perverted character? And at such a young age? Zabuza felt frustrated inside. He leaned against the tree trunk and stood up, preparing to fight. Zabuza-sen, take this. Just then, a loud shout came from behind. A figure wearing a green kimono suddenly appeared beside the beheading knife. Long hair down to his shoulders, wearing a Kirigakure mask on his face, it was Zabuza's only teammate, Haku. Haku lifted his foot and used all his strength to kick the great sword, cutting off the hilt of the sword. The blade instantly flew out from the large tree and spun towards Zabuza. Dream come true. Such a big knife, taking it out to play with is not bad. Naruto's shadow clones group all let out a mocking laugh, jumping up and down, ready to snatch the great sword that flew over Sora's head and behead him. But at this moment, Haku, who was standing on a large tree branch and playing with it, started to move once again. Secret technique of 1,000 kills Mizu Wall. Haku quickly formed a hand seal with one hand, while the other hand waved in the air. In the air, steam rose, instantly condensing into a large array of silver needles, flying straight towards those Naruto shadow clones. Break, break, break. One after another. The shadow clones were hit by the silver sunbon needles, exploding into large patches of white mist, dissipating into the air without a trace. Thunder Iron. At this moment, Kakashi didn't know when he had left the team and surrounded Haku behind. In his hand, lightning flashed, forcefully swinging towards Haku's back.
Puffy.
Without any surprise, Kakashi's hand pierced Haku's heart. But what surprised people was that Haku's wound did not have any blood flowing out. Immediately after, Haku's body turned into an ice man, with a rumble. It completely shattered. What ice release clone? This guy is a ninja Kekkei Genkai. Kakashi's face was slightly frightened. He raised his head and looked down at the battlefield. Sure enough, Haku didn't know when he already realized Kakashi's sneak attack, used ice release clone to escape the place, and arrived at Zabuza's side. As Haku chased after him, he once again released the 1,000 kill Mizu Wall secret technique to destroy the approaching Naruto shadow clone, at the same time forcing Naruto's main body to retreat to the side. Haku, didn't I tell you to stay on the sidelines and observe, then look for an opportunity to make a move at any time? Zabuza stroked the corner of his mouth, glaring at Naruto, with eyes filled with unwillingness. He could not have imagined that he would be so easily beaten up by a little devil. Haku shook his head slightly, placed Zabuza's strong arm on his shoulder, and carefully lifted it up. No, Mr. Zabuza. The situation has changed now. The opponent's strength is too strong. We must join forces. Zabuza was slightly stunned. Is that so? I also feel that damned blonde little devil is very troublesome. Then let us go deal with those people together. While talking, Zabuza's hands were not idle. His fingers danced rapidly, and a set of ninjutsu hand seals were completed. The mist concealment technique. Suddenly, the surrounding water vapor on the ground accelerated, and after it evaporated in the air, a light white mist emerged. Very quickly, white mist covered a large area around the forest. The range visible to the naked eye became only less than 2 meters around the tree. Naruto, return immediately. Protect Mr. Tizana and the others first. Kakashi's voice came from within the thick fog. I know. Naruto nodded in agreement, turned around and quickly ran towards Tizana and the other three. Kakashi was right. He had lost the best opportunity, and now Zabuza was controlling the situation. He had to protect Tizana and his group first. Tizana is just an old man who can't even tie a chicken. And little Sakura is just a rookie. Even with Sasuke, this flying ninja, waiting on the side, there was no way he could be a match for the unpredictable Zabuza. Not to mention there's also a Haku who's good at ice release.
Ah!
A loud scream rang out, and little Sakura let out a miserable scream as she was thrown out of the thick fog. Naruto's eyes and hands were quick, seeing the black shadow flying towards him. Without any hesitation, he jumped up and brought her into his arms. Little Sakura, how are you? As soon as his feet touched the ground, Naruto lowered his head and asked the little Sakura in his arms. Little Sakura had probably already fallen into a coma, a trace of Kurenai bloodline flowing down the corner of her mouth, as if she was seriously injured. Furthermore, her wrists and thighs had large pieces of ice crystals embedded deep into her flesh. This kind of trick is clearly useless at first glance, but with Haku's strength and accuracy, he can completely directly take little Sakura's life. It seems that Haku's personality is still the same as the original, kind-hearted, unwilling to casually harm other people's lives. Gagebunshin no Jutsu, Shadow Clone Technique. Naruto put little Sakura on the ground, his two hands forming the Shadow Clone hand seal. 3 shadow clones appeared beside him. Naruto opened his mouth and said, "You 3. Take little Sakura to a safe place first. Leave the other battlefield to me to deal with." Ah! The clones agreed together, hugged little Sakura, and ran towards the outside of the dense fog. With 3 shadow clones protecting her, little Sakura will be out of danger for now. At this moment, from Tizana's direction, the sound of weapons and ships clashing rang out. Naruto also did not leave any Hiration marks on his teammates in Class 7. After all, they are not Hinata. They will not easily agree to Naruto doing such a thing. You must know, the Hiration mark holds a special property. Once planted, it will exist forever and cannot be erased. Unless you completely destroy the object, the mark will disappear along with it. Therefore, except for Hinata, who was especially close to him, Naruto had never made a Hiration mark on anyone else until now. Despite this, Naruto still quickly ran to the inside of the battle circle. At this moment, Kakashi, holding a kunai in his hand, and Zabuza, holding a large sword to cut off their heads, tensed up together. These 2 people are evenly matched. For now there is no way to win. On the other side, Sasuke was desperately protecting Tizana behind him, constantly blocking Haku's fierce attacks. But even though Sasuke used all his strength, he was still no match for Haku. Not only was he being tightly suppressed, but many places on his body were covered in blood.
Haku.
Stop torturing that miserable brat. Quickly finish off that brat. The blonde brat is here again. Zabuza shouted towards Haku. Naruto, hurry up and save Sasuke. He and Mr. Tizana can't have anything to do with each other. Kakashi also turned his head to look at the other side of the battlefield, loudly shouting at Naruto. I understand. Naruto agreed, took out a few specially made Hiration kunai from behind, waved his hand and threw them in Haku's direction. Ah, is it that teleportation technique just now? Haku wasn't too confused. He had just been hiding in the shadows. But he had already seen something from Naruto Hiration, knowing that Naruto could quickly transfer positions using this method. Rustle. Haku's body transformed into a top, spinning rapidly in place. A series of clanging and clanging sounds rang out. Sasuke's body was once again stabbed and injured in many places. But Naruto swung out those Hiration specially made kunai, but they were also sent flying by the spinning top. Raise again. Flying Thunder God technique activated. Naruto didn't know when, but a rotating chakra ball condensed from his hand and smashed towards Haku's rotating body. What? As if sensing the dangerous aura of the Rasengan, Haku did not dare to receive this kind of attack. Boss sound. He transformed into a whirlwind and quickly fled the scene.
Boom boom tilde tilde.
The Rasengan missed its target and smashed into the ground, creating a large crater. Mud and sand were flying everywhere. Sasuke and Tizana, who were on the other side, had their faces burned by the sand and rocks. They desperately wiped the dust off their faces. Only then could they barely see the surrounding situation clearly. Tizana's eyes widened. This is a battle between ninjas. This kind of battle on this scale is really terrifying. Sasuke's eyes widened. Naruto, what level have you reached? Sasuke's eyes were full of unwillingness as he looked at Sasuke, his body trembling faintly. This has been more than a month. From beginning to end, Naruto has been suppressing Sasuke. Every day except for mission time, he is trying his best to cultivate. Except for the 5 hours of sleep, Sasuke is almost desperately practicing. In the end, the result was still not being able to meet Naruto. After just seeing Naruto release the Rasengan ninjutsu, Sasuke clearly realized the reality. Between him and Naruto, there was an insurmountable distance. This distance cannot be caught up by practicing desperately. Disgusting.
Why?
Why is it like this? Anger burned in Sasuke's heart. As a man of revenge, he could not allow himself to be a tyrant and could not allow himself to fall too far behind his peers. In the midst of his emotional turmoil, Sasuke's eyes felt a wave of heat, his pupils turned from black to red, and his twin jade eyes opened. The surrounding thick fog also slowly thinned out. The mist concealment technique is not permanent and requires the caster to release chakra to maintain it. As Kakashi continued to drag on Zabuza, and both sides had already fought, Zabuza did not intend to continue using his specialty, silently using his shadow technique.
Kung.
Once again, the kunai and the great sword cut off the ship's head. The two men quickly retreated several positions, carefully guarding against each other. This Naruto brat, has he even learned the Rasengan? Kakashi's face was filled with horror under the mask. Obviously, he was also paying attention to the battle situation on the other side. Zabuza let out a strange laugh. Humph 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 Kakashi. Although that blonde little devil is indeed very difficult to deal with, but as long as Haku uses that technique, your side will definitely lose. Kakashi was not too worried, and said coldly, "You don't understand Naruto's strength at all. Now that he is at full power, even I am not sure of victory. You're too concerned about your teammate." Haku was extremely rational and did not fight Naruto head-on, because he knew deep down that he had no way to defend against Naruto's extremely explosive attacks. He transformed into a whirlwind and extended the distance back, his fingers rapidly dancing. A set of ice release secret techniques had been completed. Ice release secret technique magic mirror ice crystal. Haku let out a soft shout, and a piece of ice condensed into a mirror, forming beside him. According to the reflection of light from the ice glass surface, one block after another of ice glass appeared one after another. Almost in an instant, an extremely large semicircular ice mirror space surrounded Naruto, and Tizana, the three of them. "Sasuke, are you okay?" Naruto turned his head to look at Sasuke, not paying too much attention to Haku using a secret barrier technique.
Ah.
Sharingan opened. Seeing Sasuke's eyes through kunais, Naruto was slightly stunned. Maybe Sasuke still seemed to have not recovered from the excitement just now. His eyes were not very friendly. He turned around and got up from the ground, asking, "Why? How do you know the Uchiha clan's Sharingan?" This didn't Kakashi-sensei just say that? Naruto was so embarrassed that he almost revealed himself. While the two were talking, Haku's true form entered the mirror. In just a flash, every single mirror within the ice mirror barrier shot out Haku's figure. He took out a large number of sunbond silver needles from his body with both hands, clamped them in the gap in the middle, and prepared to release them at any time. "This place is my secret barrier. Don't even think about resisting or escaping. Obediently hand Tizana over to me, otherwise none of you will be able to leave this place." Haku's tone carried a hint of force. "Why is it like this? I can't see that the real one." Sasuke's eyes narrowed, trying to gather a large amount of chakra in his eyes, but he still couldn't see where Haku's real body was hidden. Tizana wiped the cold sweat from his forehead. His body convulsed as he fell to the ground, and involuntarily moved towards Naruto. "You too, you probably won't leave me, this old man, alone." Sasuke tightly grasped the kunai in his hand. "Don't worry, Mr. Tizana, I will protect you no matter what." Naruto didn't say much nonsense. He stood with his arms crossed in front of him. The veins on his forehead suddenly bulged out. 8 gates Dunjia. 5th gate opens. Rustle. Green steam energy cloak emerged from his body. Naruto's clothes instantly burst open. A powerful gust of wind blew from within the barrier, blowing the dust on the ground everywhere. Sasuke was forced to cover his face, blocking the dust from hitting his face. "Naruto, this guy. This is the power of the 8 gates release armor. I didn't think it would be this strong." Tizana also maintained the same movement. "Looks like Naruto's aura is stronger than the opposite." Haku's face under the mask was equally shocked and pale. Why can there be such strong energy, those green auras? Is that guy's chakra released? "No, I can't delay any longer." Haku silently grunted in his heart, realizing that he had given the other party too much time to prepare. His two hands tightly grasped the silver Sunbon needle, and he suddenly waved his hand. Collect, collect. Sunbon carried the sound of tearing wind, rushing straight towards Naruto and Sasuke. Ding ding, dang's sound of weapons clashing rang out. Sasuke relied on his twin Jade Sharingan to see clearly his ability, and used most of the Sunbon silver needles to block. But those silver needles were too numerous, and they were shooting from all directions. Even with the assistance of a Sharingan, Sasuke's body was still pierced and injured in many places. On the other side, Naruto, relying on the 8 gates release technique, surpassed his body's limit of speed, dodging wave after wave of silver needles. But Haku also has a cunning side to him. The silver needles were only to limit the two people's actions. His main body flew out from the ice mirror and headed straight towards Tizana. Tizana was shocked and pale. Where had he encountered such a situation? He could only let out a cry of shock, and his body instinctively retreated. But almost in the blink of an eye, Haku was already in front of him, the sharp Sunbon in his hand, stabbing straight towards Tizana's throat. Break! Naruto suddenly appeared beside Tizana without any sign, immediately followed by a powerful kick, kicking Haku on the wrist. What? Haku felt his wrist go numb. The sound of bones breaking came from his wrist. He quickly turned around and flew backwards, hiding inside the ice mirror. Old man, aren't you afraid of peeing your pants, hehe? Naruto reached out and patted Tizana's shoulder. Tizana was so scared that he froze on the spot. Only then did he regain his senses and let out a long sigh of relief. Who, Naruto? You saved my life again. So that's it, it's that red mark on the helmet. Haku carefully observed Tizana's body. When he saw the mark on the Hiraishin battle cap, he thought of the kunai Naruto had thrown just now, which also had a similar mark, and immediately understood the principle behind it. Also understood why Naruto could suddenly appear and initiate an attack against him. Naruto nodded slightly. Your name is Haku, right? It seems you are really smart, first-rate analytical ability, but next time I may not have any intention of joking with you again. Saying that, Naruto started forming hand seals with both hands. Multiple shadow clone technique. 200 Naruto shadow clones appeared inside the ice mirror barrier. The shadow clone group also wouldn't because the main body opened the 8 gates release. But the unacceptable change, the on-the-spot explosion phenomenon, this was something Naruto had already done before. This shadow clone technique splits only the same chakra, but the energy vapor essence will not split. Just relying on the number of clones is no way to defeat me. Haku used force to separate his wrist, temporarily using his wrist bone to support it. Naruto smiled and shook his head. Can I defeat you or not? Then let's see carefully next. While talking, the shadow clones group ran out in all directions. Haku also realized that the situation was a bit wrong. Once again through the ice mirror, he attacked Naruto's shadow clones, defeating them one by one. Maybe 200 shadow clones in number.
Also not so easy to be destroyed.
The remaining approximately 100 shadow clones, all rubbing their Raisengans with one hand, ran to the edge of the ice mirror, and used the pills in their hands to forcefully strike towards the ice mirror. Rasengan, Rasengan, Rasengan. When Rasengan and ice mirror clashed, ice mirror was fundamentally unable to withstand this kind of powerful impact force. Crackling sounds of shattering continuously rang out. The ice glass was continuously broken by Naruto's shadow clones and others, and Haku's ice release barrier, which had not yet passed through, was completely destroyed by Naruto in this brutal manner. What this guy, Baidian, was terrified. His real body was hidden inside the ice mirror on top, watching helplessly as the shadow clones broke through the ice mirror, but was also helpless. In fact, with Haku's ability, he could completely activate the Demon Mirror Ice Crystal, ninjutsu again, causing the barrier to be rebuilt. But as the barrier was destroyed, continuing to use this secret technique would be a waste of effort. Not only would it waste a large amount of chakra, it would also very quickly be destroyed by Naruto. Haku, I'll come find you again. On the ground, Naruto's true form was still recklessly emitting green steam. When Naruto discovered that only a few layers of ice remained on the top of his head, he couldn't help but smile.
Wow.
Naruto transformed into an orange afterimage and disappeared from sight. Next a blink of an eye, Naruto appeared in front of that several times ice mirror. A beautiful series of sweeping legs.
Boom, boom, tilde, tilde.
Naruto used his demonic power to shatter the remaining 3 ice mirrors into pieces once again. And Haku's real body was also forced to fall from the mirror, swinging his fist and smashing towards Naruto's face. Useless. This is my home ground. Under the 5th level of the gate. Naruto's physical speed had already surpassed everyone present. Haku's punch attack, in Naruto's eyes, seemed to be in slow motion, without any threat. Naruto simply tilted his head and shook his head, dodging the fist attack. Immediately after, Naruto reached behind his back with both hands and took out 2 bandages that Rock Lee had stolen. He waved his hand and lifted them up, the bandages tightly wrapped around Haku's body. Lotus flower expression. In the next blink of an eye, Naruto disappeared without a trace. Appearing behind Haku, his 2 arms tightly hugging Haku's chest, spinning towards the ground and falling. Disgusting. You bastard. Haku felt a life-threatening threat. If he were to fall down in this extremely fast-spinning manner, even if his head hit the ground, he would instantly lose his ability to resist. This time, Naruto's 2 hands accidentally grabbed the position, causing Haku to be unable to help but blush, not even taking the danger of his life to heart. Huh? Soft? Naruto's face was extremely flustered. Didn't they say Haku was a man? Why were his chests mostly soft? And why was he being hit like this?
Break.
At the moment when he was about to fall to the ground, Naruto's consciousness manipulated a shadow clone, running to the bottom, creating a falling cushion. Naruto relied on surpassing the speed limit, landing firmly on the ground. But after Haku's head smashed the shadow clone into white mist, the downward trend still did not decrease. His head slammed into the ground with a loud bang. However, with the shadow clone as a buffer, Haku did not receive fatal damage. Just a dizzy head, mouth full of mud. At the same time, hair turned to be messy. Naruto's eyes and hands were quick. He flew forward. Before Haku could react, he grabbed the bandage and tied his hands behind his back, then tied them with a 5-flower tie, making him unable to move. Tazana clapped his hands and said, "Truly amazing, Naruto, as expected of a Leaf Village ninja, ha ha ha." Sasuke finally treated his injuries himself, pulling out every single silver needle from his body. Disgusting. Naruto, this guy. Naruto ignored Tazana's flattery and squatted down to reveal Haku's mask on his face. He asked with a serious expression, "Are you male or female?" "You, this guy. What exactly do you want?" Bai Dian's cheeks were red, his eyes were a bit evasive. The feeling of that pair of salty pig hands grabbing his chest just now, the memory was still fresh in his mind. What's more hateful is that this shameless guy Naruto actually squeezed it twice. What kind of trouble is this? Don't misunderstand. I don't mean that to you. I'm just purely curious, hee. Naruto awkwardly scratched his head. Naruto couldn't understand this point. Hokage's document said Haku was male, but the anime actually drew him with breasts. Moreover, after experiencing Naruto's experiment just now, that kind of feeling is definitely not fake. A man's chest muscles cannot be like this. Let me go, you shameless brat. Haku struggled with all his might, twisting and wriggling his body, trying to escape the bonds. But unfortunately, with Naruto's 5 flowers tying method, without anyone's help, he would have no chance of escaping. Oh my. Don't be so mean, I didn't hurt you, I just wanted to make friends with you and talk. Moreover, are you a man or a woman? Naruto was chatting here and there, but in his mind he was thinking about how to complete that jutsu mission. Another side. Kakashi and Zabuza fought fiercely. From the beginning of the taijutsu duel, they gradually advanced to the ninjutsu duel. At this moment, the 2 of them had already reached the surface of the sea, performing a classic case of releasing ninjutsu. Dan, bet, ten, mao, tu, ho, dao, bet, non, tuat, dan, te. Dan, bet, ten, mao, tu, ho, dao, bet, non, tuat, dan, te. Zabuza made complex hand seals with both hands. A few dozen meters away, Kakashi, who was more than a dozen meters away, also followed suit and made similar hand seals. Zabuza was slightly stunned. Why can this guy form the same seal as me? Moreover, the seals are activated almost at the same time. Kakashi did not give the opponent a chance to react. The Sharingan moved. The illusion technique was activated. Water-style great clampdown technique. Kakashi took the lead in completing the hand seals.
Boom, boom, tilde, tilde.
Before him, the water stream shot up to the sky, forming a silvery tide, rolling towards Zaboz's direction, covering the past. How could this be? Zaboz's face was filled with fear. Until now he still didn't understand that he had been hit by the opponent's illusion technique.
Ah!
Zabuza screamed miserably. His entire body was swept away by the surging waves, rushing towards the back of the forest in the middle. The Great Waterfall is indeed a B-rank ninjutsu. That kind of surging tide covered the giant trees on the continent to a height of 2 meters or more. Naruto, in order to avoid being affected, had already grabbed the tide Haku and jumped onto a large tree branch to play with his face. Tizana, on the other side, also had shadow clones help, temporarily escaping the effects of the flood. Boom boom. The strong current of water rushed through the forest, bringing many tree roots without effort, all of which suddenly grew up from the ground, rushing to a more distant place. Hiding in the big tree branches, Naruto and his group played together, but they were not affected or injured. A few minutes later, the stream of water disappeared. Zabuza tilted his eyebrows and leaned against a large tree, looking like he had long since fallen into a coma. Zabuza said, "Disgusting." Haku was extremely worried, seeing his teammates in trouble. His mood had sunk to rock bottom. After all, with their high-priced confirmation missions, being a ninja in any profession, there's no shortage of enemies. Now captured by this group of Konoha ninja, even if he won't be killed on the spot, he'll probably be escorted back to Konoha prison. At this time, Kakashi had also followed the sea back to the woods, turned his head to scan the surrounding situation, and showed Naruto a look of appreciation. "Very well done, Naruto. This time, thanks to you." Kakashi clearly understood in his heart that if Naruto wasn't there this time, with the arrangement of the 7th class, the entire army would most likely be wiped out. Just Zabuza was enough to exhaust his mental strength to deal with him. If he waited for Haku to deal with the remaining people and then joined forces with Zabuza, Kakashi would have no chance of winning. "Kakashi-sensei, don't say that, everyone contributed." Loki showing a bit of humility, Naruto carried the tied Haku and slid down. Kakashi picked up the decapitating sword from the side, walked back to Zabuza's side, and also took out a pair of bindings from his ninja tool bag, tying Zabuza's backhand tightly and firmly. Cough cough, Zabuza coughed violently, choking out several mouthfuls of water. But when Zabuza's consciousness cleared, and he saw the situation around him clearly, he was already powerless to resist. "Humph. I really didn't think that I would actually fall into the hands of you Konoha ninja." Zabuza's eyes were filled with unwillingness, glaring at Kakashi and asking, "Kakashi, why can you use this great burst technique? This technique is actually a secret ninjutsu of our Kirigakure group. It should not have been passed down to your Konoha village." Kakashi nodded slightly, took down the ninja Hitayate, forehead treasure, and covered his left eye. "That is my Sharingan copy ability. You must have some guesses in your heart." Zabuza was slightly stunned. Really? I just now clearly hadn't completed the hand seal. Why were you able to initiate the ninjutsu first? Haku, who was trapped in a rice cake, suddenly opened his mouth. "Mr. Zabuza, you must have fallen into the opponent's illusionary technique. When you thought that the hand seal was not completed, and stopped to observe the opponent, you might have fallen into the opponent's illusionary technique trap." Haku had just been tied up by Naruto, and was also paying attention to Zabuza's battle on the other side. Zabuza suddenly understood. So that's how it is? The Sharingan is indeed worthy of its reputation. It seems I was too careless. Zabuza felt regret in his heart. Just now on the sea, he clearly had the advantage of touching the ground. If he had just used the Misty technique, he would not have been able to easily enter Kakashi's illusionary technique. But now the situation has been decided. It is too late to say anything. Kakashi looked at Haku and nodded, saying, "Ah, that's right. I really didn't think you could have such excellent observation skills. Looking at the dye mask you just wore, you must be from the Hidden Mist village. Why are you colluding with that guy Zabuza?" Not waiting for him to reply, Zabuza let out a strange laugh. Humph, Kakashi, since we have fallen into your hands, you can go ahead and kill us and skin us to pieces. What's the point of asking so many questions?" Haku clenched his teeth and said anxiously, "Wait a minute. Mr. Zabuza, I will not let you die so easily, no matter what you say." At this moment, Naruto, who had been silent the whole time, suddenly went to Kakashi's side and whispered in his ear, "Kakashi-sensei, I have an idea. We can recruit them.
Can you let me try?
Kakashi's face was slightly frightened. Naruto, do you know what you're saying? Don't joke around like that. The other party is really a traitorous S-class Mizukichi ninja. Naruto nodded slightly, his eyes determined as he said, Kakashi-sensei, I understand your concerns, but right now they are all tied up. There is no threat. Don't you mind letting me try once? If it really doesn't work, we can think of other ways. Okay then. After hesitating for a moment, Kakashi still nodded in agreement. He followed Naruto's instructions and went ahead to help treat Sasuke and Sakura's injuries. Although he didn't understand why Naruto had to personally negotiate the surrender. Kakashi also believed in Naruto's strength and that nothing unexpected would happen. Until he saw Kakashi go away, Naruto squatted down in front of Zabuza and sat down. You two, let's talk. Zabuza let out a contemptuous laugh. Little brat, although I don't know what you want to do, I advise you not to waste your energy. I will not submit. Naruto did not pay any attention to the other party, but slowly said to himself, I know you, one of the 7 swordsmen of the mist, Zabuza Momochi, nicknamed the demon. You are known as a man full of ambition and iron-blooded by others, but I know you are not a heartless person. When you were young, you killed all your teammates during the ninja graduation exam, successfully graduated and joined the Umbu, and in the end, you failed to assassinate the 4th Mizukichi Jigura, and were branded a traitor ninja, and were forced to escape from the hidden mist village. In a few short sentences, Naruto explained Zabuza's information in detail. These were all memories from his previous life, when he saw the Hokage many times, silently keeping them in his mind, so Naruto was relatively clear about these things.